Ready?
We're on.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
We're on.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilwoman Melly Garthwaite.
Melly Garthwaite, Council at Large, present.
Councilman Brian Locks.
Brian Locks, Council at Large, present.
Councilwoman Ann Heffernan.
Councilwoman Ann Heffernan, 1st District, present.
Councilwoman Ruby Melton.
Councilwoman Ruby Melton, 2nd District, present.
Councilwoman Sarah Akbarali is absent. Councilman Gary Donovan.
Councilman Gary Donovan, 4th District, present.
Councilman Edward McMillan.
Councilman Edward McMillan, 5th District, present.
Councilwoman Dawn Callahan.
Councilwoman Dawn Callahan, 6th District, present.
Councilwoman Catherine Tucker.
Councilwoman Catherine Tucker, 7th District, present.
Councilman Christopher Vargo.
Councilman Christopher Vargo, 8th District, present.
Councilwoman Katie Muller is absent. Councilman Stephen Johnstone.
Councilman Stephen Johnstone, 10th District, present.
And Chairman Nicholas Pascal.
Chairman Nicholas Pascal, present.
We have a quorum, Mr. Chairman.
We have a quorum. Thank you. We will now enter into public session. The time is 7:05. Would anyone like to speak before the City Council? For the second time, would anyone like to speak? Please.
Can you just turn your mic? Yeah, there you go.
Name and address for the record. Yes. Thank you. We'll look into it. Would anyone else like to speak before the Ms. Calgary?
Thank you, Joanne. Would anyone else like to speak before the City Council? Ms. Petrucci?
Change in title from administrative assistant to assistant registrar. The statute that was quoted in a letter that was anonymously sent that started this all happening in the registrar's office mischaracterized the statute. Assistant registrars are the eyes and ears of the registrars at polling locations. We have 10. Our registrars cannot be at all 10 when they have to be here at City Hall. That is the purpose of assistant registrar. It is not a clerical position. Again, I reference the email exchange I had with the Secretary of State that said the registrar is allowed to delegate their duties to clerical staff. They're allowed to delegate. And when further asked regarding the signature, because I believe Sherry Lepper on 4/9 said that she needed an assistant registrar to be able to sign. The Secretary of State says that that is one thing the registrar cannot delegate is her signature. So when the canvas needs to be certified, it needs to be signed by the registrar. However, the registrar can delegate her clerical staff to do the canvas, for example. The other part is these administrative positions work in parallel with our union. Sherry stated this on April 9th, timestamp 2928, when was asked about the raise and the pay. She herself said that the raise, though not a union position, keeps pace within the union contract. The union contract does not afford for an assistant registrar because that is not a position. It is an appointment. So we need to fix this before it becomes a precedent across the state. I really challenge anybody to find a registrar's office of 169 municipalities that employs an assistant registrar outside of election day, primary day, special referendums, special elections. They are election poll workers. That is their duty. In closing, I hope, I do apologize that the interpretation of the statute that I've passed out was so terribly done. And I hope that you reverse your decision. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Would anyone else? Mr. Ricchio.
Haven't been up here for a while. Some of you know me. My name is David Ricchio. York Street, West Haven. I served on the city council for 10 years, touched 3 decades, whatever you want to talk, 4 decades, someone told me, but that's all right. I'd like to echo the sentiments that Chris Petrucci said. I had the opportunity to talk to Wilton's registrar of voter in Lisa Stervato, also Lou DeCillo from Stratford. I tried to get a hold of Tony Esposito at Hamden, and I also tried to get a hold of Marianne Turner from Enfield. But both Wilton and Stratford said exactly what Chris was pointing is that the position of assistant registrar, and it might be misinterpreted, is the position for the assistants at voting time. It's not a position to create as a position in City Hall. And I think we all want both registrars, whenever they make a decision in that office, to come together. To change anything, if one disagrees and one agrees, common sense says it stays the same. But in this case, as you could probably tell, is that there was an agreement. You see it firsthand, you heard it firsthand. So in the sense, I hope that you consider that if someone puts a motion under new business, because I sort of remember the process, we can really fix it wrong. And let's talk about the person, Veronica Rivas, and what she is. I think those who've talked to her, and keep in mind, Veronica Rivas, the only Hispanic person working in that office that has helped many of you and many of our Hispanic community, she goes beyond her way to help both sides. You just heard that she is actually training and helping the new Democrat. That's the kind of person Veronica Rivas is. And I know I go back to some of the council members that are sitting here, and I know for a fact, you know that she's that helpful of a person. Do we really want to go back to the politics of yesteryear and eliminate positions when all we've been hearing how things are really good in the community? We really want to go back to the politics of the 70s where we have power bosses eliminating jobs? I don't think we need to go back. When we have something good, we want to keep it. I think you all know Veronica. You all know if you need something, whether you're Democrat, Republican, independent, unaffiliated, she is there. So there's so many pluses of maintaining her position, to changing the position to assistant registrar, where actually it's a misconception of a title where it really belongs to the poll workers on election day. And maybe most of you misunderstood, or all of you misunderstood. But tonight you have an opportunity, and hopefully one of you do bring it up, is to correct a wrong. Let's keep someone great in that office that helps both sides, non-politico, as you know. I mean, you guys, if you know her, you know I'm speaking fact and truth. So, if it's a personal grudge or with a personal something with somebody, I'm sure in time, as we know at City Hall, those personal grudges will disappear. We don't want to lose someone like her. And I'll point out people that I know personally on this council. Nick, I could talk to you one-on-one. We've dealt with, I'm sure you've dealt with her through. She's been a great person. Why throw someone like that helps both sides? Doesn't play politics. If there was disagreement between the two, let them iron it out. That's the way people do in the professional world. So I'm asking, maybe we can correct this wrong, and we can go on, because we don't need this to go any further. And then all it does is put a black mark on West Haven. Let's forget those years. Let's move forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your comments, Dave. Would anyone else like to speak before the city council? Victor?
Hello, everybody. My name is Victor Boris. I live on 170 Shingle Hill. Just want to say, hope everybody's okay and happy. I'm just here to speak up for Veronica. She's helped me a lot. She was actually the first person that helped me work together to do the first Hispanic festival ever in West Haven, 2017. She works very hard. She's always helped the Democrats. She's always been there with the Republicans. She's not shy to help. She's a team player, right? When I wanted to do that festival, I was doing it alone. I didn't have nobody. And she helped me, God knows. So West Haven enjoyed it. It was a lot of people. It was like over 2,000 people there. So I'm just asking that if we can just put, everything aside and just look at who she is and all what she's done for West Haven. We've all had great experiences from what she does here. She does the translating a lot here in the City Hall, which there is a need of a lot of Spanish translations. She does a lot. As a councilman, when I was a councilman, she helped me a lot when I was trying to run for city council too. So just asking you guys to, she is real. To lose her, it's just terrible for West Haven to be a big loss. So thank you for listening to me, and take care, guys. God bless. Bye-bye.
Thank you for your comments, Victor. Mr. Kowski?
My timer this time. Robert Witkowski, 93 Dalton Street, West Haven, Connecticut. I'm here to also speak for Veronica because she has helped me out a lot when I was the chairman for the Reform Party and other issues. She speaks multiple languages, so she helps out people from all variety in the neighborhood. And we definitely don't want to lose her. To me, I'm going to cut right through the BS. It seemed like this whole move was a power play move. Somebody wants to have total control of an office. And it doesn't work that way when you have two parties in there. So they deceit and they lie and they get things changed. And you can fix this. You can make it right. You can correct the error. And that person will need to learn to work and play with others in the playground. If not, she'll take the spanking. I appreciate your time. God bless West Haven. God bless the USA.
Thank you for your comments. Would anybody else like to speak before the city council? For the second time, would anyone like to speak before the city council? Just a reminder, I need your name and address for the record.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Are you a minor? Are you under 18?
I'm 15.
I think we need to have a different address, Mr. Chairman, for the record.
Use 355 Main Street as your address.
Sorry, thank you.
Hello, my name is Mia, and the address is 355 Main Street.
Great, thank you.
So I've lived in a West Haven for about 7 years, and I live next to a field called Quigley Stadium. And there has been an issue with needles next to my house. And I just wanted to say that it would be a very big support if something was done to this. Because I have two brothers, both 5 and a year old. And one time my brother came up to me with a needle that was thrown in my yard and told me what it was. I did not like that. And he's too young to know about needles. And I felt really heartbroken because this has been an issue for a very long time. And my mom has done complaints over and over again to both the police and tried to speak to different people about it. And I don't feel like there has been much done about it. And I feel like this issue has been neglected for a very long time. And I would really appreciate if here in council something could be done about it. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate your time as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mia. Great job, Mia. We're definitely going to look into that. Would anyone else like to speak before the city council for the second time? Would anyone like to speak before the city council? And for the third and final time, would Mr. Mullins?
What's going to happen is now that I'm speaking, someone else is going to come up and speak, and he's really mad at me. All right. So it's Stephen Mullins, 22 Oak Road in West Haven. Proud Allentown, USA. So I wasn't going to come out to speak, but I got to say, I always, every opportunity I have, promote young people. And I got to mention these young people, these young ladies who are behind me right now. This is troop number 821. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm your chaplain. 821. They're magnificent from what I understand. They met with Chairman Pascal today as part of their requirements for citizenship and learning about government. And I've many times spoken to different troops throughout the city regarding the same thing. And for this young lady to come up here at a young age, takes a lot of courage. I spoke before the city council the first time when I was in the 8th grade, 1 year younger than her. I was 14, and my legs were shaking. But if you look from here up, everything was just right. So it takes a lot of energy and a lot of guts for a young person to have that ability to do that, and she definitely should certainly be proud of herself, and this troop should be very proud of all the work that they've been doing. So thank you. That's all I've got to say.
Thank you, Mr. Mullins. I agree. We'll be working on it. Would anyone else like to speak before the city council for the second time? Would anyone like to speak before the city council? And for the third and final time, would anyone like to speak before the city council? Public session is now closed at 7:28. We will now convene the June 9th, 2025 regularly scheduled council meeting at also 7:28. I am looking for a motion to approve the journals of, let's do this separately. Looking for a motion to approve the journal of May 12th. Do I have a second?
Second.
We need a first.
Motion.
Motion, sorry.
Sorry. Motion, second.
We have a motion by Tucker,
Then I'll second it.
Okay.
second by McMillan.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? An abstention?
You abstain.
Abstain? Two
Laux
abstentions.
and Callahan abstain.
Correct.
Thank you.
Did that carry?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, and I'm looking for a motion for the approval of journal dated May 27th.
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And you were absent at that time? So
We have Milton abstained and Callahan. Also carries.
Motion carries. Perfect, thank you. All right, at this time, I'll have the council clerk hand out the communications for this evening.
Communication A from tax collector regarding overpayment refunds for June 2025 will be filed with tonight's minutes. Communication B from the Community Development Administration regarding approval of Program Year 51 Neighborhood Assistance Program Budget, West Haven Child Development Center, Inc., for $15,000, Ward Heidemann House Museum Foundation, Inc., $24,500, and West Haven Community House, $20,000, being assigned to the Finance Committee, Acting Chairman Vargo. Communication C from Mayor Dorinda Boer regarding an application to the Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development for funding of up to $2 million to undertake the school streetscape and safety project and to execute an assistance agreement, being assigned to the Finance Committee, Acting Chairman Vargo. Communication B from Mayor Dorinda Boer regarding an application to the Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development for funding of up to $2.5 million to undertake the Wagner Pedestrian Bridge project and to execute an assistance agreement, being assigned to the Finance Committee, Acting Chairman Vargo. Communication E from the Finance Director Gormany and Public Works Commissioner Cisick requesting an authorization to add LoSiP project name paving in the amount of up to $927,000 to the capital improvement plan within the fiscal year 2024-2025 capital budget, being assigned to the Finance Committee, Acting Chairman Vargo. Communication F from the Finance Director Gormany and Public Works Commissioner Cisick requesting an authorization to add LoSiP project name paving in the amount of up to $345,000 to the capital improvement plan within the 2025-2026 fiscal year capital budget, being assigned to the Finance Committee, Acting Chairman Vargo. And lastly, Communication G from the Finance Director Gormany regarding a bid waiver for purchase of used vehicles valued at $35,000 or less for fiscal year 2025-2026, being assigned to the Finance Committee, Acting Chairman Vargo. And that concludes our communications for this evening. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. We will now recess into committee meetings at 7:32. First up, we have Health, Welfare, and Safety. Chairwoman Tucker.
All right. Good evening. It is 7:32, and your Committee on Health, Welfare, and Safety is now in session. Members present are Councilwoman Garthwaite, Councilwoman Heffernan, Councilman McMillan, and myself, Councilwoman Tucker, acting as chair. So we're going to talk tonight with Mr. Carano and his team, and we would just love to hear a little bit about your the work that you're doing and any upcoming initiatives that you have. Would you like to speak about what your work is?
Thank you, Dr. Tucker.
Thank you.
Dr. Tucker and the City Council, thank you very much for having us here today. I know Mayor Borer has been keeping the council updated on many of the things going on in the Human Services Department. I am John Carano, the Commissioner of Human Services, which includes Public Health, Parks and Recreation, Youth and Family Services, as well as Elderly Services, and now CDA as well. One of the major initiatives we're working on is intimate partner violence. Throughout this discussion, we will refer to intimate partner violence as domestic violence. In last year's budget, the mayor proposed and the council approved 3 new positions. You approved a youth services coordinator, you approved a social worker, and you approved a community health coordinator. Thank you very much. They have been doing some great work, and I think it's finally time to put a face with each position. I would like to introduce them to you now and have them give you a very quick summary on what they're working on. These summaries are not intended to be a comprehensive. We're just going to hit some highlights with each individual. So Coralie Colon came to us from the Board of Education, and she is the Youth Services Coordinator, and we'll let her introduce herself.
Good evening, Councilwoman Tucker and City Council. My name is Coralie Colon. I'm the Bilingual Youth Services Coordinator for Youth and Family Services, a position I've held since October 2024. Previously, I worked with West Haven Board of Education as the School Health Outreach Worker, and I also worked part-time with West Haven Health Department as a health educator, where I completed my internship hours. In my current role, I plan and oversee programs that support youth and families through mentoring, life skills, and emotional support. These programs are often in collaboration with West Haven Board of Education. Some key programs include after-school social, emotional, and enrichment programs, as well as programs for at-risk youth. As part of the WINK program for families of children with special needs, I coordinate monthly children and family events. For example, in May, they went to a zoo trip. In June, they will visit Quasi Water Park. In July, we have a potluck fiesta with a DJ where families bring traditional dishes to share. I also lead the Spanish-speaking parent support group, which offers meetings with expert speakers on topics such as special education law, transition to adulthood, learning to read IEPs, and much more. We also hold meetings without speakers, providing a safe space for parents to discuss their challenges and receive support. Additionally, I manage the department's social media to share programs, events, and resources with the community. I assist youth referred to the diversion panel by connecting them with positive programs and providing translation for Spanish-speaking families. I work closely with various city departments, including health, parks and recreation, police, senior center, and agencies like West Haven Prevention Council. Thank you for your time, and I hope I have provided you with a brief overview of my job duties with Youth and Family Services. I look forward to continuing our efforts to support the youth and families in West Haven, and I'm available anytime if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Colon.
We will, at the end of our presentation, once we get through the domestic violence, you're more than welcome to ask any questions or comments of anybody up here. Corrali works for Diane Dietman, who's here tonight in support. Diane is the Director of Youth and Family Services. The next person I would like to introduce you to is Alyssa Eckstein. She's a fabulous social worker. She's been involved with the fabric of West Haven. And Alyssa, please.
Hi, good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Glad to be sharing space with you all. So good evening, as I said, council members. My name is Alyssa Eckstein. I am a licensed master of social work. And thank you for the opportunity to share a bit more about the work I do as the municipal social worker. In my role, I provide low barrier, person-centered support to residents facing a wide range of challenges, from housing instability, food insecurity, to health issues, immigration needs, crises that require immediate intervention. I meet people where they are, whether that's at City Hall, the library, in their homes, in the community, whatever feels safest and best for them, really. I offer both drop-in and scheduled services with no appointment or formal intake process required. This allows people to access help when they need it most without jumping through hoops. Each month, I work with roughly 30 residents. Some are new, some are returning, and together we address things like applying for benefits, accessing job training, finding housing, navigating the shelter system, or getting connected to healthcare services. Sorry about that. I also support clients through emotionally difficult times and provide psychoeducation and training to city staff, including the library workers, on how to respond to people in crisis safely and compassionately. Beyond direct service, I collaborate closely with other departments and community partners to build programming that strengthens our city, things like mental health fairs, youth events, public awareness efforts around many topics. I also distribute hygiene and harm reduction supplies funded by the city to meet residents' most immediate needs. The work ebbs and flows with the seasons, so in colder months, I focus more heavily on helping unhoused individuals find shelter. Around the holidays, I see an increase in emotional support needs from those who may be isolated and away from family. And finally, I participate in regular interagency and outreach meetings to make sure that we're working in coordination, not duplication, and to advocate for the people that I serve. This model is designed to be responsive, inclusive, and most importantly, rooted in dignity. It ensures that no resident is turned away, no matter how complex their situation might be. Thank you for your time and your continued support of the work. And as Mr. Crano said, I am available after and at any time for any questions you may have.
Thank you.
Next on the list is Andressa Granado. She is the Community Health Coordinator. Both Andressa and Alyssa report to Sheila, who's the Director of Health, as you know. So I'll get you a little bit from Andressa.
Great, thank you, John. Hello, good evening. My name is Andressa Granado, soon to be Mrs. Makita in September. I serve as a community health coordinator for the city of West Haven. My role within local health really is centered around protecting and promoting the health and safety of our residents through strong partnerships, data-driven strategies, and responsible programming. Good programming, if my colleagues do say so themselves. At the heart of my work is really planning and implementing health programs that are not only rooted in best practices of public health, but really are tailored to those West Haven residents, whether it's organizing health fairs, developing and disseminating resources on mental health or mental wellness, or expanding access to tools and training like Narcan for opioid overdose reversal, thank you. Each strategy that is designed and that we implement in the community really is designed with one goal in mind. It is to empower residents to live their happiest, healthiest, and safest lives. I'm also responsible for collecting and tracking health data from disease reports, whether that is from the state or from the federal government. This allows me to identify and to respond to emerging concerns such as spikes in suicides, overdoses, or gun violence. The data also helps our outreach efforts and informs our health education campaigns, such as our communications that we do with the public through social media. It also supports our city's overall public health response. I also oversee the administration of our public health grants. These grants are bring vital funding to our city. These sources, though limited, really do expand our capacity to serve and ensure that every dollar is used effectively with full accountability and transparency for the residents. Additionally, I also supervise our community health staff, which as of today is a total of 3 individuals tasked with supporting interventions in the city for our most pressing issues, such as substance use, intimate partner violence, and sexually transmitted diseases. And I don't know if you're aware, but in this political climate, the walls are closing in on public health. There's a lot of scrutiny on what we do, who we are, and our impact in the community. But despite those challenges and those misled opinions, the health department continues to remain unwavering in our commitment to the public by investing in the next generation of public health professionals through mentorship and real-world experience. So of those 3 people, they are 3 interns. One happens to be Corrali, who is getting her master's in public health right now, and 2 other master interns from the University of New Haven and the University of Bridgeport. Got them both, got it. Investing in the new public health force helps secure the future of public health in our city and also strengthens the current services that West Haven has. The West Haven Health Department is small but mighty, and we're always looking for creative ways to do the most with the least funding. Ultimately, my work and the work of the health department really aims to promote equity and build a stronger West Haven. Public health touches every corner of our lives, really even in this room at this very moment. For those public health fanatics, you can probably identify at least one public health, safety, promotional wellness thing in this room. I am proud to be part of this realm, and I'm also proud to be proud of the city's health mission. Thank you.
You all know the Director of Public Health, Sheila Carmen. She's going to speak some about the initiatives in the Health Department in addition to what we just talked about and what they're working on, and then we'll provide more details on domestic violence. Madam Chair, I do have handouts. Is it okay to hand these out to the council?
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Tucker, and to the council members. What you will be receiving now are just a copy of my most recent health director report. But I'm going to share with you some of the upcoming initiatives that the health department is working on. The health department is excited to announce several upcoming initiatives in collaboration with key partners, including Stop and Shop Pharmacy, Bridges Healthcare, Cornell Scott Hill Health Center, Hartford Healthcare, and the University of New Haven. These community-focused health initiatives aim to provide valuable resources, education, and to support to all West Haven residents. Our diverse programming addresses critical health concerns while fostering community connections through the following programs: oral health awareness, immunization awareness and vaccine clinics, cholesterol education, breast cancer, diabetes, and drunk driving awareness. Additionally, the health department will host an FDA food training workshop on June 16th. All food establishments have been invited to understand changes in state and federal law and to allow for a Q&A session from restaurant owners. On tomorrow, John Carano and I will be meeting with Mr. Walter Harris, who is the CEO of Power in a Shower, to explore providing mobile shower services for the unhoused population here in West Haven. We also have implemented a mosquito control program designed to prevent human cases of West Nile virus, in addition to other mosquito-borne illnesses. The program consists of the placement of briquettes in mosquito breeding sites on publicly owned properties, the placement of 4-star sustained release 90-day microbial briquettes in municipal catch basins, which contain standing water. Insect repellent will also be provided for distribution throughout the senior center and other city departments and through an educational campaign. This activity is being performed in conjunction with the State of Connecticut Department of Public Health, the Connecticut Agricultural Experiment Station, and other city departments. Some continuing initiatives are the opioid Narcan training, as well as the warming and cooling centers for the unhoused. We look forward to making a positive impact on our community through these efforts. And I will turn this back over to John, who will provide you more information on domestic violence. Thank you.
Well, you'll be seeing a lot of the health department at various fairs and activities, the Apple Festival. Thank you very much. We're going to be getting in touch with you on that. So our domestic violence prevention team consists of the 4 individuals that you just spoke with, as well as Sergeant Allard, school resource officer, Detective Sergeant Zwickler from our Special Victims Unit, many people from the Board of Education in both the Health and Curriculum Department, and myself. Domestic violence does not discriminate in any way. Most people think domestic violence as a physical altercation between a man and a woman. It's way more than that. While that's a very large part of domestic violence, it's not by any means the only form of domestic violence. Domestic violence can manifest itself in many ways, including physical, emotional, sexual, economic, and psychological abuse. Domestic violence is not limited to any particular group, and it could occur in any relationship regardless of factors. Doesn't matter if you're in Greenwich, if you're in New Haven, West Haven, it doesn't matter. It doesn't care about race, ethnicity, gender, socioeconomic background, or sexual preference. We have an extensive list of domestic violence activities. Some are new activities, and others have been going on for a while. This campaign that we're laying out for you now combines the new with the old to develop a comprehensive approach to domestic violence. The goal is to raise awareness about domestic violence to help break the silence, reduce the stigma, and connect survivors to the support they need. We have developed a 2-pronged approach to address domestic violence: prevention and intervention. On the prevention side, we have the West Haven school system and West Haven community outreach. On the intervention side, we have the West Haven Police Department, and the chief is here, and we are collaborating with the Coalition of Partners and Providers. You may ask, what does the school system have to do with domestic violence? Our answer back to you is everything. We feel that we have a solid approach to addressing domestic violence in the community. However, real change of behavior starts when you're young. And we felt it extremely important to understand and work with the school system to understand what they're teaching today and how we may improve that or complement that. The earlier people understands the impacts and consequences of violence in general, the better chance we have to eradicate it by the time they become an adult. This is why we included the school system in our support. At the school system, we have an awful lot going on. At the high school, students are required to take Health 1 and 2 prior to graduation. These 2 courses build progressively and complement each other in their exploration of healthy relationships. The curriculum covers not only romantic and physical relationships, but also mental and social impact on relationships. Health 1 focuses on the basics of healthy relationships. Health 2 focuses on applying learned information and strategies to real-life scenarios. Some of the topics include jealousy, possessiveness, sexual assault. In addition, we will be engaging with the high school athletic teams at their events to raise awareness about domestic violence. We're going to be utilizing peer advocates to spread awareness about domestic violence. We will be bringing high-quality, engaging speakers next school year for the entire high school population. We are working with the West Haven High School National Honor Society to adopt domestic violence prevention as next year's theme. The High School National Honor Society will also flow this theme down to the National Junior Honor Society at Bailey. Also at Bailey, the student curriculum will include conflict resolution and anger management as part of the intervention strategies. The high school health department, prevention council, and family center services are working on a presentation following the Love is Respect program from Bridges. Raleigh Bridges, right? Okay. This presentation will be provided to all students at Bailey and Carrigan. At the elementary schools, they currently provide conflict resolution training in smaller groups. All the schools are attacking social media violence. It's a major problem. No matter who you talk to, you can talk to any administrator or teacher. I come from a different world, and where I grew up, we didn't have to worry about cell phones and cameras and video and social media and keeping track of every single movement. These kids have it difficult when it comes to that. On the community side, we are formally collaborating with the following organizations to shape the campaign. We're collaborating with the Umbrella Center for Domestic Violence, also known as BH Care. We're collaborating with the Rape Crisis Center of Milford, the Family Center Services of New Haven, Bridges Healthcare, West Haven Prevention Council, Connecticut Coalition Against Domestic Violence. We are working with DCF, Intimate Partner Violence Representative for the New Haven County. We are working with the REST program to help with immediate placement of victims to a safe place. If you read the papers across from Walmart in New Haven on Route 80 over there, they took over that hotel. That is one of their main locations where they can house many people. And we're also working with the state prosecutor's office. We're collaborating with 2 additional organizations that I will not name tonight because we have not formalized the working relationship, but I can give you a little bit of background. We're working with a West Haven licensed marriage and family therapist who specializes in domestic violence. And we're working with a local 501c3 organization from West Haven. This organization is dedicated currently to providing equal educational opportunities for Afghan women and girls. In addition to scheduling and assisting with presentations to the specific community, they will also support us with translating the domestic violence information into Pashto, Arabic, Dari, and Urdu. I believe you all received a packet last week with information that will represent our first mailing. It included a cover letter, domestic violence educational flyer with a QR code, Umbrella Center resource sheets with pull tabs, 2 pocket brochures from the Umbrella Center, Family Center Services brochure, and a customized designed domestic violence awareness magnet. The literature and signage, we're going to include a QR code on everything we can. If you're a victim of domestic violence, you don't want somebody seeing you reading something about domestic violence, right? So the QR code is hopefully a quick way where somebody can scan the QR code going by, and that QR code will take you to our landing site, which then gives you a plethora of resources that are available to you for domestic violence. For the initial mailing, we're sending these packets to beauty parlors, nail salons, barbershops, daycares, places of worship, WHEAT, the community center, and several other community-based organizations. It will be followed shortly with the mailing to restaurants and bars, and then individual businesses as well. We are asking these businesses to display the domestic violence materials in staff areas, waiting rooms, restrooms especially, entry and exit paths, hallways, bulletin boards, anywhere they want to put them is fine. The reason we started with beauty parlors is they're safe places for women. Look, my mom's been a hairdresser since she was 16. Her and my cousin own a local beauty parlor. And being a kid growing up around the beauty parlors, I know that when you're sitting in their chair, they know everything about you. They know who your husband is, who your children are, who your extended family is, what your favorite recipe is. They know everything about you. We need to use that. Beauticians are quasi-social workers, therapists, and counselors all wrapped in one, and so are barbers. We see them as our first line of defense for domestic violence. And what we want to do is train them on how to spot it. So we're going to be working with the Family Center Service, We're working with Family Center Services to provide an engaging speaker and educator. We will then invite everyone on the mailings to City Hall or the high school if it gets too big, so they can be professionally educated and trained on how to spot the signs that the person sitting in the chair in front of them is experiencing domestic violence. We're working with the places of worship all around the city to send this information out through their social media accounts. We've talked to several pastors on a lot of different ideas on how to do this. The feedback we got was the best way to go about it is use my social media. Everybody's on social media with their individual church these days, and they're going to get plastered with domestic violence stuff should the place of worship choose to. We're going to be following up with these places of worship on how we can bring education to smaller groups outside of the normal prayer time. We'll be using the Youth and Family Services as well as the Health Department Instagram pages as one of the main social media platforms for domestic violence campaign. Little things we have going on, like the basketball mentorship program called Set the Pace, set up by Diane Dietman and Corrali and the West Haven PD. Well, at these events, there's mentors, and in between games or during downtime, what our mentors are going to have is they're going to have a discussion with the children about what's domestic violence, what is violence in general, what can we do. Anywhere where we can find a little place to break in is what we need to do, because the young kids are where it's going to change. Our team is working with the West Haven Prevention Council to design and develop a domestic violence rooftop billboards for around the city. Those will be coming. On the West Haven Police Department side, a domestic disturbance from a police perspective is a situation where they are called to respond to an argument. This argument can be anything from a small disagreement to massive violence. These are the most prevalent and dangerous calls an officer can encounter. My father used to tell me all the time, you're typically showing up at a residence, you don't know what's on the other side of that door. You don't know if there's children, you don't know if there's weapons, you have no idea what's going on the other side of the door. It's dangerous. Last year in West Haven, there were 924 domestic disturbance calls. 241 of those ended with an arrest. The West Haven Police recently purchased software, thank you, Chief, that is going to prove very helpful for what we're trying to do. With this software, the PD will be able to share with our team the allowable details. They can't share everything, but they can share the allowable details about the domestic disturbance calls from above. We are now going to take that. Andressa is a data genius. We are going to take that and see what we can learn from the data. What does it tell us? Does it tell us it's random? Is there specific areas? What can this do to help us? So it's been a little while in the making. It's taken a while, but I know the chief's people were trained on Friday on how to use this software, so we're expecting some data quickly now. At each domestic disturbance, regardless of the outcome, so whether they're arrested or not, the police officer hands out 2 resource guides with phone numbers and contact information for various social services that the people can voluntarily call. Each police officer receives annual training on the state of Connecticut General Order for Domestic Violence. This general order represents the Connecticut model policy for law enforcement to follow. It was developed in coordination with the National Family Domestic Violence Protection and Response Act. The police department has also implemented a domestic violence lethality assessment program for use on the scene. This screening involves a series of questions by the officer to the victim. If there's any affirmative response, it triggers a protocol where the officer, not the victim, is now required to contact the domestic violence hotline. With that, while still on scene, they need to then wait for further instructions on how to proceed. Every domestic violence incident resulting in an arrest is referred to the Family Center for Services and the Special Victims Unit for further investigation. That's what I have for you this evening. This is what we're working on and have been working on. Like I said, much of this existed. We're just trying to wrap it all into a big campaign so we can now go out. Those mailings should go out in a couple of weeks now, our first group.
Well, first and foremost, I just want to tell you we're blown away, I think, by the amount of work that you've been doing. We know that you've been doing work, but we never heard it presented this way, where there was this, basically a cumulative summary of all of the work that you've been doing, and it's tremendous work. So I just want to give you all a round of applause just for that, first and foremost. And I'm extremely excited that there's data being collected. So that way we can kind of figure out, if you can't measure, you can't really tell what you're doing. So I'm very excited about that. And I know that there's a ton of, work being done in that space around social determinants and the factors around social determinants, and now the domestic violence work. So I just want to thank you all, and I'm just very excited to see it all coming together. And Commissioner Carano kind of like leading the way with all of the different departments and, just pulling the resources together that we know we have in West Haven, but I don't think any one of us were fully aware of the depth and the detail about what each one was doing. So I just want to give people an opportunity to ask questions if you would like to ask any questions of the group. We could. We could open it up to the entire council. Dawn, and then.
Thank you all very much. Again, reiterate what Kathy said, and again, thank you for forming this, because it all started with this fine lady right here, really bringing us all together. I, for one, asked, where and how and when. You brought it full circle. I was wondering, maybe at some point, John, that you could send us out all these fine people's names and how to get in touch with them and what their role is. I know they kind of just briefly said, but if maybe you could send it to all of us so that we can kind of, all have that.
I can absolutely do
line
that.
of
I'll actually send exactly what I
was
just
going to
went
say
through.
just what you wrote.
and with all the people's names and contact information. I'll do that tomorrow.
That'd be great. Thanks. And thank you, Chief. Amazing job you all do. And really, I can't imagine what you all go through on those calls. My heart goes out to all of you, and thank you for that. And Miss Diane Dietman, for always putting service above self. You always do a tremendous job with that. So thank you all again. We look forward to bringing it all together.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, I just want to say, wow, great, fabulous. Every one of you is, alone would be great, but the four of you together seem like you're going to be a dream team. I mean, really, 4 great women, love it. But I was talking about data. That was I wrote down one question. With the data that you're able to get with this new software, you're gonna look back in previous years to see, and then look to see if the strategies that you're using are,
So currently we have some overall data for 24 which I gave you, and 23 was eerily similar.
Okay.
It was extremely similar. The software is called Power BI, which is going to be able to connect with the system. A lot of you may know it. I used it in my former life. And it will do the data gathering, and we're going to see how far back we can go, because I'm interested in that same thing.
Okay.
But like I said, they just got trained. We're playing around with
Yeah.
playing around with it now, and we'll see how far back makes sense.
And one more question, please.
Sure.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I know you've listed a lot of places where you're going to put information out. Have you thought about the West Haven Community House being a partner with you?
One of the initial mailings will be to Wheat and the West Haven Community House, as well as several other community organizations.
I think they could be a really big resource for you too. So
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Councilwoman Melton. Mrs. Melton.
Well, I echo all the wows. I mean, I'm it's just very impressive. Not only the work that you've done, but you seem to have touched on, all of the different resources that are out there that will assist you. And, I was very impressed with the list of partners and people that you're collaborating with or bringing in to help you with this, because I know you don't have all the answers, and there are a lot of people out there who can help with this. So one of the things that kept coming to mind while you were giving your presentation was, it would be wonderful, and I'm just going to throw this out. It's maybe too early in this campaign or in this process, but I would love us to have some kind of community forum wherein you could bring a lot of these people together, maybe a full day forum or something organized where it would bring together, these different groups that you're touching, our police department, the different West Haven organizations, victims, the whole package, so that and open it up to this whoever would like to attend. This isn't just a West Haven issue, and we filter out into other communities as well. And so I just want to sort of put that into your bonnet, sort of, and see whether at some point you might want to do that, because I think you've done a lot of really great groundwork and you've been thinking about this, and why not us to do this and showcase all of the good work that we're doing here in the city right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Can I respond?
Yes.
I think that's a great idea. Let us discuss it, and we'll see how we can put that together. The interesting thing is October is Domestic Violence Month, so there'll be an awful lot of different things going on. One of the people I mentioned in here is she's going to be a speaker at the Lions Club, and she asked for our support. This just happened, so if you guys don't know. So that's something we're going to do. So we're going to try to embed ourselves in the fabric of this, not just do a presentation and walk away.
Right.
We need to, this is a long-term, continuous, ongoing, continuous improvement kind of thing, and we're going to learn as we go what works, what doesn't work, and do better.
Some of the partners that are outside, they're not part of the city of West Haven, may also have data on us, on West Haven as well, that just may be helpful and available to see what's going on. So I'm just curious to see whether or not we might be able to look into that at some point as well. Councilman?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioner Carano, this was a tremendous, comprehensive presentation to us, and it was very much needed, especially with recent events and over the last 18 to 24 months. So thank you, and thank you to your team. I think you have an A-team here, and we're very excited to see where you all are going to take this, and I hope that you can come back before us at some point and give us some updates. Speaking of the places of worship, I'm very much involved in the First Congregational Church, and we have engagements with some of West Haven's most vulnerable. So if you have any of those materials electronically, please send them to me. I will take care of reproducing them and making sure that they get to the folks that we have engagements with on a weekly basis. So please reach out to us for that. Also, just a humble suggestion is you may want to consider some sort of education or communication with mandated reporters. I myself am a mandated reporter in 2 other capacities, and while we are educated on certain things that and contexts that we have to report and how to do that, I think that there are a number of mandated reporters in the city who may not understand just how broad the subject matters that we are required to report and how to do that, and the protections that we have in case we get it wrong, but we have a good faith basis. So I think that anything that you can do to help them out, because there's a lot of us out there in West Haven, so I would strongly suggest you look into that. And then just getting off of the domestic violence for one quick second, if there's any resources that you all offer or any partnerships that we can work on to help with the food insecure, that's something that's very near and dear to my heart, and it's something that I work with at the church. Please reach out to me if there's any way that we could collaborate. We have a lot of resources, and we interact with those folks literally on a weekly basis. So if there's any resources or partnership opportunities, please reach out to me. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Councilwoman Garthwaite?
Thank you. I just want to say thank you all for coming, and it's great to finally put some faces to names. I actually spoke with Alyssa a couple of times, and I really appreciate what you did for the residents that you worked with. It really means a lot. So keep up the good work, and I'm going to be sharing all the materials online. And I had one little specific question about the briquettes for Sheila. I'm curious, what are they made of, and is it hazardous to public health?
No, allow us to get back to you on that.
Yes.
I know the formal name, but that's not going to help anybody. So let us get to the person that's actually using them. There's nothing hazardous in them. We've been doing this program for years.
Okay.
And we'll get back to you. I do know they're starting at some of the most vulnerable locations, anywhere where there's a lot of mosquitoes, right? Lake Street is definitely one that happens. I think down near Umeli as well.
Yep.
But we do have a person that goes and drops these off, and he's state licensed as well. So,
okay.
But I can get you exactly what's in them, and send that off to you.
That would be great. Councilwoman, did you? Yeah. Well, those two, but people are more, in my mind, more important. So, thank you so much, and thank you, Commissioner, and thank you, ladies. Thank you, Chief, for coming. Appreciate you. And that's it. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
Thanks. Anybody else have any questions? Chairman?
Thank you. I don't have a question. I just have a statement. I always enjoy when the department comes here and lets us know what you're doing, because we all know there's a health department, but you're coming here and you're not only letting us know what you're doing, but you're letting the people that are watching at home also know what you're doing, which might have been a mystery to them. And I think it's one thing to let them know, but the passion you guys have for it is something else entirely, and I applaud you for that. And I want to thank you for coming tonight. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you all. I do have one question for Chief Perno. You have to wake up.
So close. So close.
And get up.
And get up.
And get up.
I know.
So close.
So thank you and welcome. We had a young lady that was here from the Scouts who talked about needles, finding needles in her yard. And we all know that we're having this significant crisis with opioid use disorders and such. And there, is a concern because this was at Quigley Stadium where the needles were found, and then close by, and her family was impacted. So I just was wondering if there's anything that you would suggest that we could offer to that family and others who may be finding themselves in similar situations. Because I know people, they leave paraphernalia behind and all that kind of stuff. What do you suggest?
To contact us, not to touch it, first and foremost. We'll be working with the Public Works to see what kind of area we can clean up so at least it can be visible to us. It's just recently been addressed at the Quigley Stadium as far as the field itself. Now we'll just look at, see if we can expand that into the surrounding area. I know exactly where she's talking about,
Yeah.
the end of her street.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there other hot spots that you're aware of?
For the finding of needles,
Yeah,
it is a little bit sporadic, but there are spots within the city.
Mm-hmm.
The shore, down by the bathhouse.
Mhm.
There's a couple other areas, maybe some of the parking lots along the beach. But it's not that bad. This is a little bit confined down at Quigley, so we'll be addressing that. We have been with patrols. I think Public Works has started. I don't think they've gotten that far yet, but I think it's on their list.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
I just had one question, Chief. Would it be possible that because the methadone clinic is there, could that be a reasoning why the family might be seeing the needles in
That's
that
a very
area?
very good possibility. It's right down the street on Front Avenue. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right. Well, thank you. And if
problem.
there's anything that you suggest going forward, I'm sorry, are there additional questions? If there's anything that you suggest going forward, would you be willing to share it with us?
I will pass it on to the liaison and to get it back to the council.
Yes,
yeah,
please.
rather than
Thank you.
contacting everybody.
Yeah, so that we could share it.
Absolutely.
Melly.
Off topic, I would just like to say, since the chief is here and I know he's going to be leaving after this, thank you, Chief, for your officers that have been so great along the shoreline, and especially yesterday when they came and confiscated I think it was two bikes that were being driven along the shoreline. So I want you to let the officers know that we appreciate them, and you're protecting not only us people, but also those little piping plovers that are hopefully not getting smashed on the beach. So thank you. We really appreciate it.
Just let you guys know, it's the entire shoreline that those guys work. So it's from basically the little beach at Oyster River all the way down to April Street.
Yeah.
So everything in between. But yeah, they're young and aggressive, and that's what I like about them. So yeah, both Westies too.
All set? All right.
Yeah.
Councilwoman Callahan?
Hi again, Chief. Thank you. And again, with Quigley Stadium, maybe in the future, I know we're going to have those traveling high cameras. I forgot the name of them. So maybe at some point we might think about using that as maybe a hot spot. I know my nephew's team had to stop playing ball there because of the needles, because
Right.
they were in the dugouts. So anyway, we can all help. I mean, us three are right in that whole surrounding area as far as your council people. So feel free to
Absolutely.
use us at your dispense. So we appreciate all you do. Thank you so much.
You bet.
Andressa,
Anytime.
Thank you.
Before we go, Andressa, as we're talking about needles, Andressa had a thought.
Hi. Hello again. So just one quick thing about the syringe cleanup. While I don't want to contradict the chief's, opinion about the methadone clinics and the association with syringes, methadone clinics, I just want to remind people that, typically people who are on methadone, they are not injecting drugs. Methadone is a partial opioid antagonist. So you don't want to do your methadone and then go do drugs. You're not going to get the bang for your buck, for lack of a better word. Secondly, I think public health also has a role in the syringe disposal and collection at the fields. I think that potentially we could do disposal bins just like they have at airports. I think there is some stigma surrounding that, but if we could get through it, I think that disposal bins really could be something that it's a harm reduction effort, right? It's something that we can provide for people so they are not throwing it on the ground, throwing it, sticking it on trees, whatever they may do. We also have a partnership with Yale Syringe Services, which if you have something to clean up, they are a phone call away and they will come. They are trained. They will collect the syringes for you anytime. It's almost like, a concierge service for syringe disposal and collection. That is pretty much it. I just want to make those 2 points. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Councilman Garthwaite?
I have a question for you. Do you find those disposal bins successful? I mean, is there data that proves that people that are using the drug are actually thoughtful enough to go and dispose them in the bins?
Absolutely. We find that areas that have drug disposal bins have less syringes in the area. Specifically, they will weigh how many needles they collect from an area. And if it is the interest of this council, they could also provide the weight measure of the bins that we post around in West Haven so that you could put data to initiative on how successful those bins are.
I think it would be
Thank
helpful
you.
to know, to keep track. But thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions for council members? I just want to thank you so much. And I think one of you said it earlier about how social determinant factors touch everything and even things in this room. And it's no truer statement said. Everything that we do impacts our ability to be well. So thank you for everything that you're doing, and we'll see you next time. All right, it is 8:22, and your Committee on Health, Welfare, and Safety is now closed.
Thank you very much. Moving on to the Finance Committee, Acting Chairman Vargo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The time is 8:23. Your Committee on Finance is now in session. Council members present are Councilman Locks, Councilwoman Tucker, Councilman Johnstone, and myself acting as chair. First item on this evening's agenda is Communication B from the Community Development Administration regarding approval of Program Year 51 Neighborhood Assistance Program Budget, West Haven Child Development Center, Inc., in the amount of $15,000, Ward Heitman House Museum Foundation, Inc., in the amount of $24,500, and the West Haven Community House in the amount of $20,000. This communication is going to require a public hearing. However, I will entertain a motion to bring this out for discussion if anyone so chooses from the committee.
Motion.
Do I have a second? Thank you. Any discussion?
Thank you, Chairman Vargo. I was looking at this proposal that was put before us, and there's very sparse information in here regarding Ward Heitman House, and I wonder whether we ask someone from the board of Ward Heitman to come to our next meeting to tell us a little bit more about their plans. And I see that there's this 24,500 has a specific designation, but I'd like to know a little bit more about what the plans are for Ward Heitman.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion from the council? Seeing none. Councilman Locks, would you rescind your second, please?
I'll rescind my second.
Thank you. Councilman Johnstone, your first.
I withdraw my first.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, can we set this down for a public hearing on June 23rd at 6:50?
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Or Madam Clerk. I'm sorry, I did not realize that somebody was here from the CDA. I apologize for that. Another motion, Stacy, I guess?
Yeah, we'll rescind.
Yeah,
the
we will rescind the rescission. I apologize for that. How are you? Good evening. Mike. Can you turn on your mic, please?
Okay. Good evening. My name is Ron Dumas. I'm the housing specialist for the Community Development Administration. This is my third year accepting these Neighborhood Assistant Tax Credit Program applications for 2025. As you mentioned, I received 3. The state usually announces in March that these applications are available. I have a list of past organizations that participated in this program, and this year yielded 3 applications. So I ask for your review and your approval for the aforementioned applications and their amounts for energy conservation projects and capital projects. There is a July 1st deadline for the submission of these applications.
Thank you, Mr. Dumas. Does anybody
Yes.
have any questions for Mr. Dumas? Councilman Johnston.
Thank you, Chairman. Ron, I have one, and I have to tread lightly, so bear with me.
Sure.
So I'm gonna try and word this in the most appropriate way possible, because I've got constituents asking me. So once again, I ask, bear with me.
Yes.
What is the long-term goal for the Ward Heitman House? Do you know? And I kind of, the fact that you there it is. The fact that you chuckled just now, it seems there's this big mystery that no one knows. We've been pumping money into that place. Once again, I'm treading lightly. And when I looked at the paperwork, it was originally recited in 95. And then it's just been kind of sitting dormant since. So do we know the long-term goal? Because at some point, we have to ask ourselves, are we pouring money down the drain? And that is where I'm going to leave my comment, because I have to tread lightly. So if you could shed some light on the subject, I would greatly appreciate it on behalf of my constituents.
Sure. They've come before our committee, usually in January through March, asking for funding for specific projects. I think we funded them roughly $100,000 for the roof. However, the roof never came to fruition. I know that Peter Marinelli from the community house, he is now on the board. I spoke with him. He's looking to move things along in the future. I trust Pete, and hopefully we can make that happen. This application specifically is for a air conditioning system to sort of help with the infrastructure of the Ward Heitman House and some of the artifacts inside. So I'm hoping to work with Pete. I converse with him often, and I hope to see some movement.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate the answer.
You're welcome.
Mr. Chairman, I have no further questions.
Thank you. Mr. Dumas, you mentioned that there's a July 1 application deadline. Is
Yes, sir.
there a deadline to expend the funds once they're approved?
I believe within the calendar year. In order for an organization to receive a tax credit, it has to be done within a calendar year. Like I said, anything over $25,000, if they're asking for that, the state requests an audit from a certified accounting agency.
Now, these are separate apart from the community development block grant.
Yes, it is.
Funds that are coming our way.
Yes.
Soon. Okay.
And this is no cost to the city.
There's no cost to the city.
No cost to the city whatsoever.
Is it so? We're just a pass through it.
I am the liaison. I collect the applications. I ask for your approval. Once I get your approval, I send that to the state through a secured system, and the state will decide based on the eligibility of their request how much the percentage would be for their project.
If you're aware, are these reimbursement funds or are these upfront payments?
I think they're reimbursement funds.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none. Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
sorry again about that.
Nope, not a problem. That's it? Okay.
Okay, so this will be set down for a public hearing on 6/23 at 6:50.
Correct.
Next up is Communication C from Mayor Dorinda Boer regarding an application to the Connecticut Development of Economic and Community Development. Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development for up to $2 million to undertake the school streetscapes and safety project to execute an assistance agreement. May I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion from the committee? Mr. Taylor, are you here to speak of this? Could you just come up and just give just a brief outline?
Good evening, everybody. So these, they're well, communication C is the school streetscapes and safety project, and what you would be approving and when you would vote on this, and of course, if it comes out in the affirmative, is to allow the city to apply for the grant. So it's we're very early in the process, but that's basically all it is.
For this particular project, do you know what the total project estimated cost is?
I do not.
Okay. And do you know if these are matching funds or it's just?
I do not.
Okay.
I just know that these encompass improving safety around Savin Rock and Washington schools.
Okay. Any questions from the committee? From the council? Seeing none? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Communication D from Mayor Dorinda Boer regarding an application to the Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development for up to $2.5 million to undertake the Wagner Pedestrian Bridge project and to execute an assistance agreement. May I have a motion to approve? Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Taylor, I assume that it's the same.
Yeah, exactly the same idea, except for this project would be to connect the Stiles School, which, as you know, is going to be a 30 unit condominium type place, with Wagner Place.
Now, these funds are going to be awarded to the city, correct?
We hope so.
Okay. Not to a third party.
No.
Not, okay. How does the interplay with selling Stiles that property to a third party? If West Haven is awarded these funds, I assume that we have to own the property that the funds are going to be used to improve?
That's a little bit beyond my knowledge.
Okay.
Yes, the answer is yes.
Are we good on the timing, Attorney Dorsey? Thank you. Okay. Any questions from the committee? From the council? Seeing none. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Communication E from the Finance Director Gormany and Public Works Commissioner Sissick requesting authorization to add LoSiP project name paving in the amount of up to $927,000 to the capital improvement plan for FY 24-25 capital budget. May I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Taylor, can you give us just some highlights of what these funds are?
Yes, as you know, every year the state gives us LoSiP money that we can spend on various projects, and the rules on LoSiP are that the governing body must budget for these and approve a budget for them. When we brought you the budget, you passed the budget. There were a number of LoSiP projects in there. We do have additional grant funds available, but we did not have projects named. So what we're asking is that you would create this allocation of this money that's available that we can use for paving.
Thank you. Any questions from the committee? Any questions from the council? Councilwoman Garthwaite?
I just have a statement. Commissioner Sissick is in the, I don't have any questions. I just want to say thank you for everything that you're doing. It's really noticeable, and I'm excited to have this paving done, and thank you for the half dozen projects I see you working on across the city, and yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. Just wanted to acknowledge you and say thank you, and we appreciate you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Tucker?
Hi. Just out of curiosity, are we able to get an estimate of how many streets this might cover?
Yeah, we're currently pricing a number of roads in the city, and then from there we'll figure out how many we could do based on a dollar amount allocated.
Okay. I know it's been a topic for quite a few years now about paving, and people are going to be very excited to hear about it. So I'm just curious, what might be available for sharing.
Yeah, we can get the estimates up front without knowing, how much money we have to spend, and then within once we figure out how much money we have, it'll be how many roads we can actually do with that money.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Callahan.
Thank you, Councilman Vargo. Hello, I haven't met you yet. I'm Dawn. It's nice to meet you.
Good to
I
meet
just
you.
want to say, first of all, welcome, and thank you for answering my email.
You're welcome.
It's been a day. So I just want to say thank you for that. And I was curious, how do they allocate what roads or how many roads can be in each district? I mean, is it so many roads per district, or is it both of how many roads in each district versus how long the road is versus the severity of the road?
You hit the nail right on the head. That's
Severity of
really
the road.
what it is. Severity
So
of
it's
the
not like
road.
each district gets
Try to spread it
4 streets. It's
as much
like-
as possible across the districts.
Okay.
So that no
districts
well, let me,
left
let me
unturned.
well let me put it to you a different way. We probably get a request to pave every road in town.
I'm sure.
In the course of the year, so it's a very, very difficult decision. And you can look at a road and do it just by severity,
Mhm.
and you wouldn't have a distribution across the city that would be very appropriate. So you have to use that combination of multi-factors.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you, and we welcome you. Look
Thank
forward
you.
to working with you. Thanks.
Councilwoman Melton, and then Councilwoman Garthwaite. I said it right.
I also don't have a question, but I wasn't here the last meeting when you were introduced, and I know you and I have had a number of communications by email, so it's very nice to put the name with the face, and thank you for everything you've helped out with in the very short time that you've been here. So thank you again. Bye-bye.
Councilwoman Garthwaite.
I lied. I have a question. I have asked probably, I don't know, maybe 25 times for a paving list, and my email never gets responded to. I'm just wondering, is there any way that you could share with the council the paving list once you decide on it, just so that when our residents contact us, we can say, oh yeah, that, or we can put out the paving. Actually, if we put out the paving list, then people are going to complain. So we'll just be able to, answer questions as they come in. Would you be able to give us
Yeah,
that
I'm
list?
sure once the list is put together, we can certainly share that with the city council.
Great, thank you. Thank you, that's it. Thank you.
Councilman Johnson.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm not trying to beat a dead horse with a stick here. I'm going to try to think of a different way to put this, kind of what Councilman Callahan was getting at. So, Phil, in regards to the lists and what classifies what needs to get done, the last time you were in front of us, you talked about this new thing you were working on of closing circles. Can you don't have to do it now, I'm not asking you to do it now, but when you release this information to help us help you, I think for the longest time, there's never been a clear definition on the process that it should be followed of what defines a road to be repaved. Is it to be patched and this is the reason, or is it to be paved and this is the reason? To what other council members have said, there tends to be a lot of bickering of, well, your district got it last time and my district gets it this time. I think we need to close that circle to help you, to help us. The other thing that would help, because I dealt with it recently, was Morgan Lane. And I know that wasn't you. There was some confusion with the contractor where we decided to mill it and work on it in the middle of school drop-off. That was interesting, and all those phone calls. But to my point of what justifies to the taxpayer, because the example I'll give you is this, and this is the answer I've been given for so long, and I think this is why council members sitting here kind of get a shock and awe of, you answer my email or you answered a question. Years ago, when I asked, why was all of Benham Hill done? And if people aren't familiar with Benham Hill, it's the road that Pagel School is on. It was done in 2 parts. The part by the school, it was somewhat justifiable, had to get done, school zone, okay, no problem. The top half did not need it, which takes you from Island Lane to Morgan Lane. but it got milled and it got paved. The answer I was given was, well, why not just do the whole road? My response was the whole road didn't need it. Well, we did it anyways. So I will circle back with the theme. If you can help us help you to answer those questions, it would be greatly appreciated, because there has been a long list of mysteries of why certain decisions were made for so very long. So we would appreciate it. So thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Any other questions?
He's been a great guy. Him and I text him multiple times. And one night he responded to me very late. I'm like, what are you doing up? He was like, just dreaming about streets. So thank you.
The Mean Streets are what's safe.
I think I said potholes.
Any other questions? Gentlemen, thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Communication F from the Finance Director, Michael Gormany, and Public Works Commissioner Sissick, requesting an authorization to add LoSiP project name paving in the amount of $345,000 to capital improvement plan within the FY 25-26 capital budget. May I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. I assume that we don't need to ask the same questions. Gentlemen, thank you for your answers again. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. And communication G from Finance Director Gormany regarding a bid waiver for purchase of used vehicles valued at $35,000 or less for FY 25-26. May I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Gentlemen, I believe that this is a continuation of the resolution that we passed last year for FY 24-25, but the only change is that you're asking for an increase from $30,000 to $35,000.
Correct.
Okay, can you speak? Is that just because of what market is demanding at the moment for used vehicles?
Yeah, I guess there was a few purchases in the prior year that were missed opportunities because of a few $1,000s.
So this will put us at a
Hopefully in a better spot than we were last year. It was very successful. Bob was able to buy a number of fleet vehicles at a very good price. Just as a reminder, the issue is that a lot of dealers don't want to get involved with the bidding process on used vehicles. They want those to leave the lot as quickly as possible. So they would rather try to sell to a cash buyer than look at a municipality or someone who's looking to buy multiple cars if they only have a few.
Thank you. I just have, I think, two quick questions, but they're going to be for you, Attorney Dorsey, real quick, if you don't mind. Just for the record purposes, if we pass this resolution, it is only valid for FY 25-26, and it's only for that fiscal year, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. And the cap on this bid waiver is whatever is approved in the budget, correct?
Oh, as far as the amount of money that can be spent?
The total amount of money that can be
Yes.
spent that's subject to this bid waiver is capped at whatever we approved for the FY 26 budget.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Any questions from the committee? Any questions from the council? Councilwoman Garthwaite?
Can you remind me what we approved in the budget? Does anybody have that figure? I just thought of that right now.
I don't.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Any other questions? Councilwoman Callahan.
Hi, thank you. Well, nobody has to come up to answer anything. I just wanted to say thank you, and I think that this was one of the most economically done decisions as far as just always getting new vehicles when the used vehicles really seems to be working in our favor. So, I mean, I know we were always going with the new, and some vehicles barely get a couple thousand miles. So I really think it was well done, and looking forward to seeing it in the future too. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Gentlemen, I just want to thank you again. I know that when Mr. Orfis was here last year, we complimented him on the outside the box thinking on this to help West Haven be able to renew its fleet and be cost effective. Obviously, it's working. I'm glad to hear that it's working, and that we're staying within the confines of the budget. So well done to everybody. Thank you. That's it. Motion to approve. I'm sorry. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. And Mr. Chairman, the time is 8:48, and the Committee on Finance is closed.
Thank you, Chairman Vargo. Let's move on to legislative matters. Also, Chairman Vargo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Time is 8:48. Your Committee on Legislative Matters is now in session. Council members present are Councilman Locks, Councilwoman Tucker, Councilwoman Melton, Councilman Johnstone, and myself acting as chair. On this evening's agenda is Communication C from the April 28, 2025 agenda from Mayor Dorinda Boer regarding an ordinance amending Chapter 178 of the Code of the City of West Haven, posting of bills. I will be requesting a public hearing. However, I would like to have some discussion with Corporation Counsel. May I have a motion to
Motion.
out? Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Attorney Dorsey, last time we were here on April 28th on this, you and the council had some back and forth and received some suggestions on some further amendments to the ordinance, and I believe that is what we have this evening. It's not on.
That's correct. We have a amended ordinance. Take it into consideration not only input from this council, but in fact the mayor again. So we went back to the drawing board with some of the suggestions, and I think what is before you all tonight is a pretty good comprehensive ordinance that will prevent a lot of unwanted advertisement, handbill postings like on utility poles and around the town, but it allows for certain exceptions, some of which we touched on last time. So I did put it in summary form. One of the biggest things that this rewritten amendment does is it defines the difference between commercial and non-commercial handbills. It's an important distinction because we intend to impose fines, and the fine for illegally posting a commercial handbill will be much greater than the fine for posting a non-commercial. We also wanted to carve out very specific exceptions. It's absolutely inhumane to rip down lost persons or lost animal, lost pet signs. Those are emergency situations which should be recognized. Now, the state statute does prohibit that on utility poles. That's a state statute. But it's certainly not the intent of the city, it's not the intent of this, I should say, ordinance as written to do that. Second of all, we wanted to make sure that educational groups, youth groups, nonprofits, religious organizations are not barred from, with proper permission from the police department, are not totally barred from signage in the city. So we're proposing, for example, we would prefer freestanding rather than nailed on handbills or advertisements of things like Little League sign up, church bazaars or fundraisers, church groups hosting various activities or meetings or groups, and school plays, for example, absolutely not meant to prohibit that type of activity. Regulate it slightly, but certainly not prohibit it. There's also an exception for events like tag sales. We don't want tag sale signs up for 4 months after the tag sale was held. We don't want them nailed on to city property or poles. But this ordinance proposes freestanding signs may be used with a size requirement and a requirement that they are not up for weeks at a time, more like 48 hours before and after the scheduled sale or block party or whatever it's giving notice to. The fines that are provided, the penalties for violation of the ordinance would be a $50 fine for each offense involving the posting of a non-commercial bill, and $200 for each offense involving the posting of a commercial bill. So that is your got junk, I buy your house for cash, that kind of stuff, which is just, just free advertising for these companies, which causes litter and blight to the city. We got to get rid of it. Questions?
Thank you, Attorney Dorsey. I really just want to recognize and thank your office and the mayor for listening to the comments of the council. As I said to you and I've said to the mayor, I do not believe in legislating what I personally think this administration will do and has in its heart. I always look to what the next administration can do. So I appreciate that. My only request is perhaps just some thought on to how to educate the groups that have exemptions available to them on how to do that, because we want to make sure that they're in compliance and that the city is aware of what's going on and gives that permission. So how we go about doing that would be helpful.
Excuse me.
Sure.
Excuse me. Yeah, so the police department is going to have enforcement. Thank you. The police department is going to have enforcement, the duty to enforce and issue the fines under this ordinance. Okay. So I would imagine that they'll have discretion, first-time violators kind of thing. But yes, this has to be promulgated. It could be an article in the newspaper. It certainly should go online on the city's website. And I think the word will get out that, there's hopefully more to the commercial people than anyone else. And they know better. There are state statutes that prohibit it, but they seem to ignore the state statutes. And I think it's probably a better idea for the municipalities to have their own ordinances enforced more efficiently than the state could, for example. The main target would be those commercial advertisers. And then also a cleanup sort of the tag sale signs that stay up from May to July, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Any questions from the committee? Any questions, Councilman Callahan? Nope, that's fine, Councilwoman Callahan. Yep.
Hello, thank you again.
No, yeah.
So my question was, I think you might have answered it, but if there is an issue, it goes to the police department, not blight?
No, this ordinance goes to the police department
Okay.
for the issuance of a fine.
Okay.
Blight fines are on the books, and they provide different fines and different. That's more geared towards private property,
Okay.
where fines will actually accumulate and get leaned on.
So
the
this
property.
goes right to the police department.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And I just want to make a comment too, even though it's just been a couple weeks when we passed the ordinance for the knocking on the doors.
Yes.
I've noticed in our neighborhood it's gone down quite significantly.
We've issued some fines.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Good to know. Yeah. So that's heading in the right direction. Thank you. All set. Yeah.
Councilwoman Garthwaite?
Attorney Dorsey, can you tell us the procedure for reporting these? Do we call the regular PD line. Okay. And,
Yes.
And so we tell them where the sign is.
Yes.
And then they'll come out, they'll figure it out, and then the fine is issued through the police department.
Correct.
Okay.
And my office and the mayor's office is working very closely with Captain Romano of the police department, similar to the soliciting ordinance. There's going to be procedures in place. We don't want to, written right into this ordinance is that the police will not unreasonably deny someone a sign. But if someone calls up the police department and says, hey, my neighbor had a tag sale. The signs have been up all over the neighborhood for 3 or 4 weeks. Can you do something about this? The response would be, yes, we'll tear them down and we'll either warn them if it's a first offense or fine them the $50 if it's persistent. Certainly, if you see a commercial sign up, they drive me crazy every time you know, there was 2 of them coming down Kelsey, one on each side about, I think, you know, I'll buy your house for cash or that kind of thing. And they're annoying and they shouldn't be there. That you call it the police department and say there's a commercial sign, there's a company advertising on a city property, and that should be an immediate contact the company and fine them.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Councilman McMillan.
I am all for this, but I'm listening to you as you say, if your neighbor has a sign up that has gone past whatever event, like you said, a tag sale for maybe 3 weeks, I think I would probably go. I personally would think we would go to our neighbor and say, "Hey,
Sure.
it's been a little," rather than getting the officer immediately
Sure,
involved.
exactly,
Just
exactly.
to,
Exactly.
you know, I don't want to go over there, take your sign. You know, I'm going to call the cop, kind of thing. So I'm just thinking,
Yeah.
when putting that out, maybe we should just be cognizant and just say, "Hey, let's go visit, talk to the neighbor. You know, do our due diligence," rather than just calling the off police and like, "Yeah, that sign up there a month ago." You know, that's all I
sure.
had to say.
But there's certainly the police officers will have discretion. You know. Mhm.
Any other questions? Councilwoman Callahan.
If there's a sign of a business, and it's, I probably know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you to answer it to validate that. If there's a sign of a business and that business is run out of a residence, is that legal?
If it's run from a residence, the sign's on the private property.
Yeah.
Then it's governed by zoning regulations, but chances are, as long as it's compliant with zoning regulations, this ordinance won't affect it.
Oh, okay.
This is on public spaces.
So people can run the business out
Sure,
of their residence?
absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Depending on the zoning, but this regulation certainly wouldn't prevent that.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none. Will the second please rescind? That was Councilman Locks.
Second rescinded.
And the first, please.
I withdraw my first.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, I am asking that a public hearing be set for June 23rd at 6:55. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, that concludes the business of the Legislative Matters Committee. The time is 9:01.
Thank you, Chairman Vargo. We will reconvene to the whole council at 9:01. Moving on to unfinished business, there is none, which brings us to committee reports. When the clerk is ready, can you read Communication A, overpayment of refunds, into the record?
Communication A from the tax collector regarding overpayment refunds for June 2025 will be filed with tonight's minutes.
Thank you kindly. And first up we have, back to Councilman Vargo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, Communication B for Finance Committee from Community Development Administration regarding approval of the program year 51 Neighborhood Assistance Program budget will be set for a public hearing on June 23rd at 6:50 p.m. And we would like to specifically invite a representative of the Ward Heitman House to attend and answer questions.
Okay. Make a note for the secretary, please.
Thank you. To the Honorable City Council for the City of West Haven, your Committee on Finance, to whom was referred the matter of the approval of an application for a Community Investment Fund grant, reports that the committee met on the 9th day of June 2025 to consider said matter. It is the unanimous opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. Resolved that the City of West Haven may make an application to the Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development for up to $2 million to undertake the school streetscapes and safety project and execute an assistance agreement. Further resolved that Dorinda K. Boer, the mayor of the City of West Haven, is authorized and directed to execute and deliver any and all documents related to this resolution on behalf of the City of West Haven, and to do and perform all acts and things which she deems to be necessary or appropriate to carry out the terms of such documents, including but not limited to executing and delivering all agreements and documents contemplated by such documents. And I so move.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve a matter regarding the approval of the Program Year 51 Neighborhood Assistance Program budget. Do I have a second?
Second.
No, it was the Communications C, $2 million.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I apologize. I am heavily medicated and fading fast. Let's do that again. I have a motion to approve a matter regarding an application to the Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development for up to $2 million. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
To the Honorable City Council of the City of West Haven, your Committee on Finance, to whom was referred the matter of the approval of an application for a Community Investment Fund grant, reports to the committee met on the 9th day of June 2025 to consider said matter. It is the unanimous opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. Resolved that the City of West Haven may make an application to the Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development for up to $2,500,000 to undertake the Wagner Pedestrian Bridge Project and to execute an assistance agreement. Further resolved that Dorinda K. Boer, of the mayor of the City of West Haven, is authorized and directed to execute and deliver any and all documents related to this resolution on behalf of the City of West Haven, and to do and perform all acts and things which she deems to be necessary or appropriate to carry out the terms of such documents, including but not limited to executing and delivering all agreements and documents contemplated by such documents. And I so move.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve a matter regarding an application to the Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development for up to $2.5 million. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
To the Honorable City Council of the City of West Haven, your Committee on Finance, to whom was referred the matter of Communication E from the Finance Director, Michael Gormany, and Public Works Commissioner Sissick, requesting an authorization to add LoCIP project name paving in the amount up to $927,000 to the capital improvement plan within the FY 2024-2025 capital budget. Reports that the committee met on the 9th day of June 2025 to consider said matter. It is the unanimous opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. Be it resolved that the City of West Haven, by and through its Finance Director, is authorized to obligate LoCIP funds in the amount of up to $927,000 to LoCIP project named paving, and be it further resolved that the City of West Haven, by and through its Finance Director, is authorized to add LoCIP project named paving to the FY 24-25 capital improvement plan. And be it further resolved that such funds shall be used in accordance with LoCIP grant guidelines for the paving of city streets within the City of West Haven, and I so move.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve a matter regarding an authorization to add LoCIP project name paving in the amount of up to $927,000 to the capital improvement plan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got him? Okay. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? You get the next one, Heffernan. Motion carries.
To the Honorable City Council of the City of West Haven, your Committee on Finance, to whom was referred the matter of Communication F. From the Finance Director, Gormany, and Public Works Commissioner Sissick, requesting an authorization to add LoCIP project naming paving in the amount up to $345,000 to the capital improvement plan within FY 25-26 capital budget reports that the committee met on the 9th day of June 2025 to consider said matter. It is the unanimous opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. Be it resolved that the City of West Haven, by and through its finance director, is authorized to obligate LoCIP funds in an amount up to $345,000 to a LoCIP project named paving, and be it further resolved that the City of West Haven, by and through its finance director, is authorized to add LoCIP project named paving to the FY 25-26 capital improvement plan, and be it further resolved that such funds shall be used in accordance with LoCIP grant guidelines for city paving streets within the City of West Haven, and I so move.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve a matter regarding an authorization to add LoCIP project name paving in the amount up to $345,000 to the capital improvement plan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
To the Honorable City Council for the City of West Haven, Communication G from Finance Director Gormany regarding a bid waiver to purchase of used vehicles valued at $35,000 or less for FY 25-26. Reports that the Committee on Finance, to whom was referred said matter, met on the 9th day of June 2025 to consider said matter. It is unanimous opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. Whereas the City Council has received a request from Philip J. Sissick, Commissioner of Public Works, Robert Orphis, City of West Haven Fleet Superintendent, and Michael Gormany, Finance Director, for a waiver of the city's purchasing requirements and competitive bidding process in connection with the purchase of certain used vehicles for a purchase price of $35,000 or below. Whereas Chapter 42-15 of the West Haven Code provides that the, quote, City Council shall have the authority to waive the bidding and RFQ requirements of this chapter on all contractual services and professional services upon a determination by the City Council that such waiver of bid or RFQ is in the best interest of the City of West Haven, end quote. Whereas the request submitted by the Fleet Superintendent indicates that 1, the bidding process for vehicles normally takes 1 month or more to complete. 2, this hinders the ability of the city to purchase quality used vehicles as the market is highly competitive and quality used vehicles generally sell fast once offered for sale. 3, there is a present need to purchase vehicles for several city departments. And 4, the ability to purchase used vehicles under $35,000 will result in significant cost savings compared to the cost of purchasing new vehicles. Therefore, be it resolved that waiver of all bidding and RFQ requirements under Chapter 42 of the West Haven Code in connection with the purchase of used vehicles for the City of West Haven for a purchase price of $35,000 or below is hereby waived for fiscal year 2025-2026. Further resolved that all purchases of used vehicles will comply with existing procurement policies, including the conducting of due diligence to ensure their fair pricing and vehicle quality, and all such purchases shall be reported to the City Council. Further resolved that Dorinda Boer, as Mayor of the City of West Haven, is authorized and directed to execute and deliver any and all documents related to this resolution on behalf of the City of West Haven, and to do and perform all acts and things which she deems to be necessary or appropriate to carry out the terms of such documents, including but not limited to executing and delivering all agreements and documents contemplated by such documents. And I so move.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve a matter regarding a bid waiver for purchase of used vehicles valued at $35,000 or less. Do I have a second?
Second.
There we go. There it is. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That concludes the business of the Finance Committee.
All right, move right into legislative matters.
Thank you.
Chairman Vargo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm on a roll. Mr. Chairman, on this evening's agenda was Communication C from the April 28, 2025 agenda from Mayor Dorinda Boer regarding an ordinance amending Chapter 178 of the Code of the City of West Haven, posting of bills. I am asking for a public hearing on June 23rd at 6:55. Please?
Yes,
Thank you.
and we need a first read.
Yes. I just wanted to get his permission first.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now I'll have this first read of the summary of an ordinance amending the Code of the City of West Haven, Chapter 178, posting of bills. Chapter 178 prohibits the posting of bills on utility poles, trees, shrubs, and rocks or any other natural or artificial structure in any public way or grounds within the limits of the city of West Haven. The proposed amendment defines and distinguishes between commercial and non-commercial bills, prohibits the posting of commercial and non-commercial bills on utility poles and similar structures and on public property, provides exemptions for non-commercial posts concerning missing persons or pets, provides exceptions for non-commercial freestanding notices of tag sales and other neighborhood events with the permission of the police department, provides exceptions for educational, school-based, youth-based, nonprofit and religious programs, plays, and activities with the permission of the police department, and provides fines of up to $50 for non-commercial violations and up to $200 for commercial violations. And that concludes the business of the Legislative Matters Committee, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Do we have any council liaison reports this evening? Liaison reports. Councilwoman Garthwaite.
Okay, so I just want to say there's no bottle and can sort this month at the animal shelter. The next sort will be July 12th, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. It is Vertical Church's Serve Day. Also want to let the council know that the West Haven Police Department has started their shifts through the grant that was given to the City of West Haven from the Robert Schumann Fund. The grant is given by the Audubon Society. They started on Saturday. Their second shift was yesterday. And I just really want to say thanks to Captain Romano and the mayor, who is not here. Thank you, Mayor. And also to Chief Perno, who was here earlier. And a special thanks to Corey from the Audubon Society for choosing West Haven to receive these funds. And last thing under council liaison is I gave out a card for all the council members to sign to acknowledge Bud, the horse at B&B Farms, who passed away yesterday. He was a West Haven staple, and the farm shared Bud with West Haven for many, many years. So I hope you all will sign it, and I will toss it in the mail for them. That's it. Thank you.
Can I ask you for one favor?
Sure.
In your dealings with the animal control shelter, can you just find out why we believe we created a position in the budget?
Yes, Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Can you find out when that's
Absolutely. I
All
will.
right.
I will let you know.
I'd love to know that. Thank you. Any other liaison reports? Melton? Councilwoman Melton.
You'll get it straight one of these days, you guys.
I got it right today. I just want that on the record. 2 more terms. I got it all on the record.
2 more terms. My report goes back to the May 14th EDC meeting that I attended, but I wasn't at this meeting following that. So hopefully this isn't old news. But Steve Fontana gave a rather robust breakdown or update on a summary of a lot of the different projects that are underway. And I thought it might be helpful to just share just little tidbits on it. In terms of long-term planning, they've got consultants that have been engaged to work on the downtown municipal development plan. Basically, the first step would be to revise the zoning code, which they'll be working on. And the plan for that is early 26 to complete. And then the other long-term plan is the plan of conservation and development, which last time was done in 2017, and so this one needs to be done by 2027. So they're hoping to get something done towards the fall of 26 to sort of move that forward. In terms of the big projects that we all know and love, we know about the $1.8 million grant for infrastructure, so I won't talk about that. The Kelsey has, by now it should have most of its building permits. If they don't, it'll be very soon. Am I telling you guys stuff you know already? All right. And they're still estimating summer of 2026. A lot of the infrastructure work will commence with, there's a $900,000 grant for work on Rock Street, the parking lot and the gazebo, which we are aware of. We know about the North End Field, so I won't talk about that. Styles, we know about that. The Riva, there's still, he was talking July 4th to Labor Day. So that's kind of a widespread, but that's kind of their, that's their timeline parameters. The coffee shop, this fall, 6 months. I'll leave this one for last because there's one little item that I don't know if you guys know about. The Debonair remediation is ongoing, should be finished soon. They're talking a year to a year and a half, fall 2026 for the 2-bedroom condos. They're working on a grocery store for Allentown. He didn't say. There. That was just a very brief comment right there. For the Havens, there are 2 to 3 developers that they're talking about. They're talking to. There's some issues with having to kind of revamp the zoning because the original zoning was wrong, et cetera, et cetera. So that's one of the things that's sort of holding some of this back. They're looking at marketing the property that the Stone Academy's, the Stone Academy, which is at number 560, and there's a property next door, which is number 60. And they're hoping to kind of combine that and market it together. And then the big, for me, reveal was that the Rite Aid is going to become a C-town. And he said that there's a growing, that they talked to the C-town owners in one of the other Connecticut townships, and there is a growing Latino business. This is a growing Latino business in the state, and that they're committed to hiring locally, and it'll take 3 months to put the plans together, and then 3 months for improvements, and they're thinking sometime around Christmas. So, the ARPA project has to be completed by June 30th. The West Main facades they're working on them. I think you've seen how they've redone the ones in front of, along where Mecha, M-E-C-H-A is. That whole area has been completed, and they have to use all that money up for that project by the end of June. That's all I got.
Perfect. Just to add on to that, if you see any of if you see any examples of grant money being used, I believe the Break Wall just put on a new patio, and that was with break.
Oh yeah,
with
they
money,
did mention the break.
Yeah,
the
with
break
money
wall.
that the city was
Yeah,
able to
I'm
grant
sorry, I
them
forgot
for
to
that.
mention
So,
that. Yeah.
that's something that enhances everybody. So thank you for that information, Councilman McMillan.
Good evening. I'm reporting for the Board of Ed. I just have that Washington School is moving right along. Their certificate of occupancy is expected within the next couple of weeks. And secondly, I'm sure the majority of you already know that Superintendent Cavaliero's contract was extended for an additional 2 years. And that's all I have.
Okay, Councilman Vargo, and then Cal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I actually, with your permission, I'd like to ask a follow-up question of Councilwoman Melton on her report.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Do you have any other info on the Stone Academy? Because that was supposed to be a higher-end spa, and that's in my district, and I've been asking what the status is of that. So is that project now not going forward? Do you know?
I got the impression they were going to do some kind of an auction.
Okay.
So I don't think there's anything specific planned for it. At least not as of the time of the May 14th meeting.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it.
Councilwoman Callahan.
Let's just stay a little while longer. Just a couple things. Memorial Day, I know I wasn't here last week, so I'm sorry I was out, but I'm not. I was on vacation. And my two lovely friends here, we all together did the wreath laying for the Memorial Day in Allentown. So I just wanted to mention that. It was well attended, and Carrie's troop was there, the folks that were here this evening that you talked to. So that was a nice ceremony. And also, I just want to say this wonderful handout. If we can attend this June 29th walk, I think it's going to be really informative on Marginal Drive. Well done, and thank you for always keeping us informed. I do have an update on Marginal Drive. I've reached out to the Commissioner of the Parks in New Haven and got everyone kind of at least talking, us, the Commissioner, West Haven, Public Works, and hopefully bring you guys in, that we're planning in the near future to meet to come up with a solution for Marginal Drive together. Even though everybody argues the bad side is the New Haven side where everything gets dumped, and then West Haven is residential, we want to start to all work together. So hats off to what you guys always do down there and for keeping us updated. And then I noticed on the back of this, they're having a great thing in July that everybody could go and meet at the part on Derby Avenue, where that dirt parking lot is, kind of across from Walter Camp. And they're going to do canoe rides and stuff like that. So really coming along down there. Super excited. So, but I'll share it. I'll share it for sure. And that's it from District 6.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Councilman Johnstone.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Special request from the sewer department. This one's kind of coming out of left field, but it's going to make sense in a minute. We have had a very, very wet year, and there is more rain expected tomorrow. The reason this needs to get brought up is we have heard nonstop citywide lawnmowers going from sunrise to sunset. Please remind your constituents, the people watching at home, this is a reminder. Please do not blow your grass into the street. It has to go somewhere, and it ends up in the storm drains. And what's happening is it is backing up the regular maintenance we have with the vacuum truck, where we have visited numerous times the same location. So imagine everyone on your street blowing their grass at some point during the week onto the street. Not only is it technically a violation, because it is, but it comes back to it has to go somewhere. So when it pours, it works its way down the street to one of the main catch basins. We've had many residents come before us in the last couple months. My yard is flooding. It doesn't normally do that. Or my yard is flooding again. So when someone goes to the property, whether it's from Public Works or the sewer department, the number one thing they're finding is it's grass and leaves, which turns to the sludge. So please remind your constituents, it backs up regular maintenance. Don't, we've talked about it, just be a friendly neighbor. Just remind them, whether they sweep it back onto their property or they blow it back on their property. If it comes from their property, it has to stay there because it will end up somewhere. And unfortunately, it's going to reroute the water on the street and it's going to end up somewhere other than where it's supposed to go. So please just do your diligence. Thank you, Chairman.
You're welcome. Any other liaison? Councilwoman Mellon, you want to follow up on that?
Steve, that's really a great point, and I'm wondering whether we all have a means of reaching our constituents with that kind of information. I wondered whether this is the kind of thing that could be coming out from, we get these alerts from time to time where the city puts out some, I get phone calls, emails, et cetera, from the city. Maybe that's something that could be, sort of an advisory for people, given the fact that we have this kind of rainfall. I don't know. I mean, obviously we can reach people to a limited extent, but I think that's a much more effective means of reaching people. If it's something that's really.
Yeah, what I can do is I'll reach out to the mayor tomorrow and see if there's a logical way to do that. I mean, last year this time last year, all year, we were in drought conditions. This year, it's just nonstop action. So if it keeps raining, we're going to have the same problem. So we're going to have to educate our people.
It's a good reminder for people anyway.
Any other liaison reports? Okay, I'm going to start off with new business because I want to refer out to Corporation Council the matter of the Registrar of Voters Office, the change that we had made. So it seems to me that looking at the information, I think they're questioning the name that we ended up giving what they're saying is administrative assistant. So I just want to work with you on looking at that. And I just want to tell people that the topic came up not because of a political issue. I absolutely abhor the fact that that was brought up because this council is definitely not about that. This came up because there was 2 positions in a budget doing the same thing, and one of them was called manager. That's what we discussed during the budget process, and that's why we felt that a change was needed. So it had nothing to do with politics. This council always tries to follow the letter of the law, and I think it's important to say that if we did make a mistake in the naming of it, that it's important that we also fix it, and we will fix it. Okay, so I'd like to refer that out to you, and if you could just get back to me directly on that, and we can work on it for next meeting.
Can I just add something there?
Sure.
It has to be done prior to next meeting. So I wouldn't wait till next meeting. I'd try to get it executed within a week or so. Say that again? Okay, great. Thank you.
Councilwoman Garthwaite?
I want to follow up on this because when that motion was made on the floor, in the back of my mind, I'm like, assistant registrars work the polls. Like, why are we calling them an assistant registrar? That makes absolutely no sense to me because they technically are administrative assistants. They do clerical work. They don't do they don't do the work of an assistant registrar. That is at the polls. So, and then, just listening, I had heard from the Republican registrar, and, it broke my heart learning that this is going to cost Veronica her job. She is a veteran. She is a staple of our registrar's office. And honestly, she helps everybody. To me, that's, I didn't know that when I voted no. What I knew was that doesn't sound right to me, and I'm not going to put my name on it. So I really want to get this figured out because I don't want to cost Veronica her job. She's been here 10 years. She helps everybody. I've said it 3 times now. So that's where I stand. Thank you, Chairman.
All right. I want to add something to that because if it turns out that whatever her job description is, it also says, whether it be in the charter or state statute, that she has to live in the city of West Haven, we have no control over that. And that's what I want to investigate. That's one of the things, as well as the name that we gave, because, well, like I said, the council's going to follow the rule of the law. And if something says that she has to be living in the city of West Haven, then unfortunately that's something that is a requirement for the position. And I don't know how to get around that, but that's why we want to, find out what's really going on here.
Had she just moved?
I'm not sure.
She's been in the job 10 years. We're just figuring this out now?
I think she stated that she was a West Haven resident.
Yep.
And that she moved out at some point. I just don't know when.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to go with Councilman Fargo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to continue on with that. This matter came before us, I'll remind the council, because the FY26 budget came to us with changing Ms. Rivas's job title from administrative assistant to office manager, and we as a council did not support that. Ms. Caligari was specifically invited to the meeting. She decided not to. She said she was not coming. Mr. Chairman, I don't know if it's appropriate or not, or if we can add this to what the Corporation Counsel's office will do, but I would like to refer this out to Ms. Caligari specifically to find out who put the title in the budget of office manager into the budget that we received.
I think she stated at the voting that she did.
Okay.
I believe that was part of her testimony,
okay.
or not testimony, I'm sorry. It was part of what she said was that she had changed the name of it herself.
Okay.
And it should have been agreed upon by the two. If anybody remember it differently, hold on, he has the floor.
No,
Does
go
anybody
ahead.
remember it differently? Okay, then go on with your thought.
So, right, so Mr. Chairman, I'd like to know who put that title for her employee in the budget to present to us, and I'd like to know if Ms. Caligari was aware that that was the title that was presented to us, and if she had any other information that she wanted to provide to us, then she should have attended that meeting.
Okay. I'm just gonna let Melly, Councilman Garthwaite, go again to rebut.
So, Councilman, I want to speak to that because I actually questioned the registrar about that because I was not here that evening because I had an emergency, and I asked her, why did you not attend the meeting? And she said, I met with the mayor and I thought that that was what I was supposed to do. And I said, but technically you're supposed to attend the meeting. And she said, well, I met with the mayor and I thought that that was what I was supposed to do. I thought I was done. So, listen, I get it. This is what she told me. And so whether or not the council wants to believe that, that's what I was told. So I'm going to let that stand.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Yep.
Just with all due respect to you and to Ms. Caligari, she was asked if she would attend that meeting, and she said no.
Do you have that in writing?
I do.
Yes.
Okay.
All set with that? Councilman Donovan?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because she was asked and she did say no. The other thing too is a few people came up and was blaming the Democratic registrar of voters. And that night when we asked as council people, when we asked questions, Ms. Lepper actually, at that point said, I don't know, I can't answer it. So she wasn't going to answer for Ms. Caligari. So for them to put it on Mrs. Lepper, that to me was wrong. And again, Ms. Caligari said she thought that she only had to talk to the mayor. I've been doing this 6 years. She's been here longer than me, and she's been at these budget meetings. So, yeah, I disagree that she didn't know that she wasn't supposed to be here. That just talking to the mayor. So, I don't. Me personally, don't buy that. But we decided on that because that's what's in our charter. Is the name of that position. I personally don't know the person. I've never dealt with her. She seems like a very nice person. She seems very knowledgeable and very useful here. And I think so the decision that the council made was not based on her specifically. That was never brought up. The decision was made because it's in the charter. And that's why we were just doing what our job is doing our legislative matter and doing it by the book in what's in there. So, yeah, if there's a way we can write this or turn this around, I don't ever want to see anybody losing their job by any means, especially somebody that's bilingual like that we need. But to put that on us, to me, was I don't want to say disrespectful. I felt personally I didn't like it because if it was that important, they should have been here to explain it. So, but that's just my opinion. I'm not speaking for anybody, just myself. So, thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Councilwoman Tucker.
Mm-hmm. So first and foremost, there's two separate branches here, the mayor and then the city council. So she's supposed to come and address the city council, right? So going to the mayor is really not addressing the council. That's number one. But I agree that I wouldn't want to see anyone lose their job. And I wonder whether or not, is there a process when people are making changes to the budget that they, when we finish deliberating, we have to write out line item, number, all the details. It goes on a document that we then give over to the secretary for it to be filed. Is that process in place at the beginning, at the start when there's a change made? Do you know, attorney? Where is he? I couldn't think of your last name.
if I understand your question correctly, when a change is made in a personnel line, for example,
Yeah, like a
added or
title.
subtracted a title,
Mhm.
yeah, there's going to be the mayor's suggested budget. It's going to be in there. You have the power to accept it or reject it.
Yeah, the question is, somebody wrote the name, the title change. Right. It was different, and then somebody made it what it came to us as, and
Different-
then we reacted to it. So, who put that there is my question. You know what I mean?
Was it the mayor's? Are you talking about the mayor's proposed budget?
So yes, because that's what we reacted to. So the question is about the title change.
Yes.
To an office manager from assistant. It was an assistant
all right.
originally.
So yeah. So a department head will make suggestions to the mayor when she's preparing her proposed budget to you, and we will make suggestions to her. I don't need this person. I haven't filled this position in 2 years. We no longer need it. I really need a paralegal, for example. I need, et cetera. And then we have a meeting with the mayor, and she says, "Yeah, that's a great idea," or "No way, Jose, it's not going to happen." And then she writes it up based on the input from the department head, Department of Finance, her own input and feeling, and she produces a budget that she thinks is in the best interest of the city. And then it comes here. We're asked as department heads to appear before you and answer questions on our department. Sometimes what we have suggested to the mayor and what we've discussed, and ultimately what's in the mayor's budget.
Yeah, I don't know that you're. I understand the process. I guess what I'm asking is, who gave the name to the mayor? Did the mayor? Did you? Did someone else decide that name, or did that come from that department?
The suggestion before the mayor makes her budget. Okay, all the department heads fill out a form about their budget.
That's what I'm asking.
Okay, yeah, and on that form, if she was going to suggest a change in personnel, she would make it on that form. Okay?
So that would have been the department head.
It would have been the department head. Now, subject to the mayor's change, because you don't see that. You get the mayor's budget.
I understand,
Yeah.
but
So, yeah, that's why we're asked not only to go to the mayor, we're also asked to come before the council.
I understand.
Okay, yeah.
Is anybody else following?
I am.
I'm starting out over here,
No,
but you're all the way over
wait.
here. So I just.
But my question is, I don't know who put that.
Okay, so
I get it.
Let me shed some light real quick. So, as a department head, I also have to put together a budget for our department. What they're asking you for is the numbers, and then for you to justify them, there's a note thing right after the line item where you're justifying why you went up 6% or you stayed the same. Sometimes people fill those notes out, and sometimes they don't. But every department head turns them in. In this case, someone from the registrar's office turned that in. I'm not sure who that is, if that's the question you're asking.
That is the question that I'm asking. So the point that I'm making is, and I don't know, do you have a Republican department head and a Democratic department head?
You have two departments. Well, yes, you have a split department by statute. It has to be a Democratic registrar, has to be a Republican registrar by statute. And I
so
said,
her leader put that in, is what she stated.
Correct.
She put that in there.
The only other person who, and then it would have to go to the mayor. And if the mayor agrees with it, it comes to you. But the mayor has that power to say no to the department head. Okay. Now you can change it. You don't have to follow the mayor, but that means you'd have to give deference to the department head. They'd have to come here and make their case.
Are you asking about like a signature on the document? Like if every time someone touches a document in the hospital, their name is on it, and it's an electronic signature on the document.
I'm getting at that. That's where I'm going with this, because somebody had to have made the change from the current title that she currently is under to the proposed title that we approved.
It was either her or the mayor or both. Those are the only two people that would change it.
Right. And so with that, I guess it's left with us now to kind of figure out what to do about that. Is where I guess I'm going with that. And I'm gonna stop there because that has implications. If you leave it, then she loses her job, and if you change it, then
There's absolutely legal implications because it's the registrar's office, which is a creature of statute. Okay.
so that's what we need to know, and that's
Yes.
where you're gonna fill us in.
Right.
Councilman Vargo and then Locks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't want to.
I'm sorry, I didn't notice that. Good.
I don't want to belabor this, but I think that this council, with all humility, has worked exceptionally hard this term to make sure that we do not make politically motivated decisions.
Correct.
And aside from this particular issue that we're dealing with right now, I would challenge anybody to point out a decision made by this body, this particular council, that they would classify as politically motivated.
And I can assure you mine won't be either.
So I'm not directing that to you, towards that at all. I'm directing that to the implication that was made from several of the persons that spoke this evening, and I'm very frustrated, and I am frankly insulted by those comments. And I just want to point out that I just pulled it up on my phone. The FY25 budget has a single personnel line item, administrative assistant times 2. And we received a budget that had administrative assistant times 1 and office manager times 1. So this whole issue started because from that office we received a budget with a proposed title change, which during our deliberations we were concerned that it would be the perception that that individual holding the manager position would be somehow elevated in the entire office, and we were uncomfortable with that. And the only person, I'm talking to you, but I'm not actually addressing you, but we were uncomfortable with that because the only person that we had here was Ms. Lepper, the Democratic Registrar of Voters. We did not have the benefit of hearing from Ms. Caligari, even though she was invited. And to Councilman Donovan's point, the majority of the questions that we asked about why is this happening, why is this before us, how did this come about, Ms. Lepper did say, I don't know. All I know is that I hired an administrative assistant. That she hired
Administrative assistant or assistant registrar?
I think that she,
because there's a difference.
right, but then we during the back and forth we I guess we decided based on the information that we had that they were administrative or that they were registrars, they were assistant registrars.
Assistant registrar.
If that right, and whether or not that proves to be correct or not, I'm assuming that your office will be able to counsel us on that and then what to do about it.
I have an opinion already.
Okay.
I'm not going to address
I
it
understand.
tonight.
Yeah, I understand.
But I have researched it. Yes.
Yes. So my only points I want to make clear is that this isn't something that we just concocted for political reasons. We were given a document that had the change. We delved into that change and the motivation behind that change and what that change could practically mean, and we decided that we weren't in favor of that. This had absolutely nothing to do with politics. So I just wanted to make that clear. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilman Locks.
Thank you. Yeah, that meeting on April 9th that we had with Sherry Lepper and the fact that Mrs. Caligari didn't show up, it was an odd meeting. I at the end of the day, think that whether it was purposeful or not, that we got hoodwinked on this whole thing. There was no intention to, in other words, at one point in time, did somebody say to us or communicate to us that that change in the name of the position was going to result in the departure of an employee? I mean, that's nonsense at the end of the day. And I know you got your statutes. For me, it's not passing the sniff test at all. Ms. Caligari has been around for a long, long period of time. And I think she deserves the courtesy, even though she didn't show up at the meeting. At the end of the day, as a council, we need to make this right. Would you agree? So that's where I stand on this. The whole thing smells bad.
I'm going to give you my legal opinion
Yep.
on it. I'm not going to try to fix it.
Yep.
I don't have any motivation with respect to that. I've been charged with the task of researching this issue, not for a certain result.
Yep.
I'm telling you that right now.
Yep.
Okay? That office is a creature of statute.
Yep.
It is regulated by the state of Connecticut.
Okay.
Regulated very, very closely.
Okay.
Okay?
So how did we get to I
don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I
Okay.
wasn't part of her budget.
Okay.
Either registrar's budget. I wasn't part of the deliberations when the mayor proposed her budget
Okay.
to you with respect to the registrar's office. I was asked at a certain time to look into an issue, and I did. And I have researched it, and I'll be prepared to put it in writing for you. Yeah.
Okay, great. So you're working on that. You're going to have that done when? So we can.
I will tell you tomorrow afternoon if you want it.
Okay.
If it's that important.
Thank you.
If it's that important.
Thank you.
Okay.
Councilwoman Garthwaite.
I just want to reiterate that Joanne has been the registrar for over 40 years. You know, maybe there was a mistake. We shouldn't cancel out, you know, Veronica's employment here based on a mistake. And, you know, whether or not, I want to say this. Sometimes feelings do get hurt here, right? Sometimes we get our feelings hurt, but we just have to move along. Whether or not you get insulted or whatever it is, you just have to say, at the end of the day, you've got to do the right thing. And I know that I'm Republican, and I'll say our mayor would do the right thing. That's what I believe. So that's my comment.
Any other new business? You have a question? Sure.
Yeah, I have a question regarding this, if you don't mind. Oh, I'm sorry. The
This whole discussion.
chair recognized me.
This whole discussion is going to be on new business, correct? It should be under new business, shouldn't it? Okay, good. Thank you. I just want.
Go ahead, Councilman Vargo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Attorney Dorsey, if this council has the ability and we should make an adjustment, the next FY budget takes effect only 7 days after our next meeting. If there is action to be taken by this council, is that sufficient time? And if not, is there a stopgap measure that we should entertain?
There is a method to do it. I'm not sure of timing, but there are ways to amend the budget after it's been passed. Yep. I can't give you a definitive answer on that without the statutes in front of me right now. That I haven't researched. For this particular, I've researched it for other matters, but not this particular one. I'm not prepared to answer that question for you tonight.
Is Ms. Rivas in the union?
I don't believe so. I'm not sure.
Okay. I think I have the answer to that. I heard they follow the union, so
they
that
follow
means,
the union.
To
but
me, that means that they're not.
I don't
in the
think they're in the union
when they
because
get the raises, they follow the union.
Yeah, their position. The positions in that office are creatures of statute. It means they come from they're created by statute. So I doubt very much there's a union, unless it's a state union.
Okay. I'm just concerned, Mr. Chairman, that if we are to take action, that that action might not be able to be effectuated in 7 days, and I don't know what happens if that is the case.
I'm sorry, what happens in 7 days?
Our next meeting is June 23rd, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
The next budget takes effect on July 1st, so 7 or 8 days thereafter. So I'm concerned that if this council should and does take action to correct this, which would affect Ms. Rivas's job, that those days may not be sufficient, and therefore she would. I don't know what happened.
If we made a mistake with anything, we will take the necessary measures to fix that mistake.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. Councilman Donovan.
Yeah, just to go on that, and correct me if I'm wrong, we can have an emergency executive meeting.
Correct.
We can call for an emergency meeting way ahead of time, so we can have it next week if we wanted to do something to make that call. So, correct.
Yeah, and there's ways to amend the budget. I mean, you know, I'm not prepared to tell you the procedure in this instance with this particular position.
Yep.
But there's ways. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Melton.
Hi, I'm a little confused. Something that Attorney Dorsey said, I just would like some clarification. When you say that it's a creature of statute and that the positions are dictated by statute, are you saying that only positions that are in the statute are permitted in that office?
No, I'm not
Oh, okay.
saying
I
that.
just want to make sure that that's not.
I'm not
Not
saying
what you're
that.
saying.
No.
All right.
No. But the statutes delineate duties, and the
Right.
statutes delineate duties of the registrar, and then the statute delineates positions under the registrar who can also perform those duties. No one else but a registrar, a deputy registrar, an assistant registrar, and in limited circumstances, a special assistant registrar. Okay, I will write my memo. I'll give you the opinion on that.
Thank you.
And get it to you. Toot sweet.
Can I? All set, Councilwoman Melton? Councilwoman Garthwaite?
Can we change that tonight, Attorney Dorsey? Can we change the title tonight?
No.
No. Okay, so, but we're safe to say that nothing's going to happen to Veronica between now and the next meeting, correct?
Well, the next
Not by
meeting
this
in June.
council.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that her present. What is she now? She's an office administrator, administrative assistant. Okay, that title, that job, I cannot find a job description for that in the city. Okay, for that position, but that position, it will end with the fiscal year, from my understanding. Fiscal year ends June 30th. Your next meeting is before then.
So we have time.
I don't think we are. We still have one over here. Councilwoman McMillan?
I'm sorry. I was just thinking about what Gary said, and I think a couple of my constituents here. Is it possible for us just to have an emergency meeting and have them here before us so we can just rectify this issue, if at all possible?
We
We wouldn't need an emergency.
We talked about an emergency meeting. When does the new budget go into effect?
July 1st.
July 1st.
And we have another meeting before July 1st, do we not?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
So why do we have an emergency meeting?
I thought Councilman Vargo said that would only give us a 7-day turnaround. Would that be enough time? Is what he said. I'm sorry. Did I hear that wrong?
Okay, hold on. Can you?
If I may clarify,
Yeah.
Our next meeting is June 23rd.
Correct.
I don't know the process to, if this council is to make a change, I don't know what that process is.
Okay.
And I don't know what the time frame for that is. And my point was that if we were to take action and we end on June 23rd, it would have to be effectuated in 7 days. Otherwise,
correct.
When the new FY budget comes into
Correct.
effect, we may not be able to roll that back. So I wanted to make sure that time was enough, but I don't know what the process is.
Okay.
And I think that Attorney Dorsey, if I'm correct, is going to look into that, and that'll be part of your.
Yeah. First, I'm going to prepare the
Yes.
my memo.
And Attorney Dorsey, just while I have the floor, I apologize that I was talking to you, but my frustration is in no way directed at you, and I apologize if that came across.
Yeah.
How about we play it this way? I will get with Attorney Dorsey, who said we'll have a quick turnaround. I just need 24 hours before I can process a meeting. So therefore, if we find out that we need a meeting on next Monday, I will make a meeting for next Monday. If we don't, then we will go with our regular meeting. We will confer on that over this week, and I will let everyone know. Does that put that to bed? Hope it puts me to bed. Councilwoman Tucker.
I want to go to bed too. So, is there an approval process that this has to go through? Since we just went through a very tumultuous approval process for the budget, the way it is now. What is that?
Approval process to what? Create a new position that's not in the budget?
Whatever this is there an approval process
Sure.
associated with it? And what is it?
Like I said, I'm not prepared to talk tonight on the exact procedure that would. First of all, I'm not even sure what you're proposing. I don't know what the proposal would be. Would you be creating a new position, putting a new position back in the budget? I don't know, approving a new position that's not in the original fiscal budget? I don't know. Okay, so I can't say this is the process because I'm not even sure what you guys are proposing.
I'm not finished.
Well, let me clarify that first, because I thought I was clear on that.
Right.
What I'm proposing is that we make sure that we named it the proper thing, and then I
Right.
need you to look into the statutes.
That's number
to
one.
see if everything is copacetic
Mhm.
with what we're looking at here, because there was some allegations made earlier on tonight, and I just need to know. One of those things that I did glean off of that was we might have named it the wrong thing. So that's the first thing I need to do, and then I need to know if we have to name it something else. The
Mhm.
other thing is everything else that's going on with the Miss Rivas losing her job. I need to know what the statutes say about that, because it's news to me that she's going to be losing her job off a decision that we made. What we were trying to fix was that it said office manager and assistant for the same position. We were trying to make it the same position again because that's how it was previously. Is that clear?
That's clear. Absolutely.
Perfect.
And to
Hold on one second.
I believe she still has the floor. I'm sorry,
Thank
I
you.
interrupted her.
And to follow up, the question is, does any of that, once you've come to that, require any approvals? And if so, who has to approve, and what will that process look like?
I will research that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Councilman Locks.
Are you clear on the expectations now?
Beg pardon?
Are you clear on the expectations now?
Of what you want?
Yes.
Yeah, and
I just want to make sure.
I am, and if you think that I'm not, then certainly
No,
feel free to send me an
repeat
email.
them back to us. I just want to make sure.
I'm
that
going
Point of
to-
order, Mr. Chairman. That's out of line.
Oh, come
You
on.
don't need to treat Dorsey this way.
Come on.
No,
Come on.
Mr. Chairman.
We've been talking about this for an hour. How do you not know what the expectations
Mr.
are?
Chairman.
I do know what the expectations are. Why do you say I don't?
All right.
I want to make sure you do.
Okay, I do. And if you have any uncertainties about it,
We
send
will,
me an email.
We will move on from that. Thank you. Councilwoman Callahan.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for looking into it,
Mhm.
and that's all we really need.
Mhm.
My only question is, if we go back to the old name, same name, new name, vice president, whatever,
Right.
does she still have to live in West Haven? And that's what maybe you can also look into so you don't have to revisit it. So
Yep.
my question is,
Yep.
whatever the name is, the previous name, the new name, a new name, an old name, nobody wants her to lose her job. That's all news to us tonight. But I was just curious, no matter what the name is or what the position is, does she still have to reside in West Haven?
Okay.
So I think that'll answer a lot of questions. Thank you.
Okay. Councilwoman Garthwaite, you have the floor.
Okay, so I just have one last statement. This title has been in place since 1961, and whatever happened, happened. Maybe it was a mistake, but in my mind, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Keep it as is, and that's all I'm going to say on that. Then I also wanted to, I think, ask Chairman or our clerk. I have not received, I don't think anybody's received the meeting minutes from our budget meetings with the department heads or the budget meeting minutes at all. And I keep getting questions about this, and then I have to go back to the YouTube and follow the YouTube because I don't have any meeting minutes from the budget or the department head budget meeting. I think
I think the clerk has some information on that.
I got our clerk's, the spreadsheet that you did, but I never got any. So I was wondering where that is. I'm not blaming you.
So typically what we do at the end of our big, because our long department budget meetings are basically like one long meeting that we adjourn every night. Those should be typed up. I'll have to check with our admin on that because we are supposed to approve those. And along with that should have been that nice spreadsheet that I sent to everybody with all the motions.
Yep.
Yeah, because that is part of our record, and
So
that
the
should be.
So the admin is supposed to give it to us.
Yeah.
Chairman, can you please ask the admin?
Absolutely. I already wrote down the note.
Okay, thank you.
You're
And that's
welcome.
all I have.
Perfect. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thanks. Have a good night.